Welcome to Last Draft, Baseball's live coverage of the World Baseball Classic, live commentary between Puerto Rico and Mexico. We are bringing this game live to you tonight. It is going to be an interesting game between the Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. Obviously, Puerto Rico coming off a bittersweet victory, knocking out the Dominicans in their pool play the other night, but unfortunately losing arguably the world's best closer in Edwin Diaz to a post-game celebration injury, as he has torn his patella tendon, has had surgery, and is out for at least 8 months, which in effect has put him out for the season. We're going to give you the starting lineups for both of these clubs, and we'll start off with the Puerto Ricans. Leading off and playing shortstop tonight, wearing number 12, is Francisco Lindor. Batting second and in center field is number 5, Kiki Hernandez. Hitting third and right field and wearing number 40 is Nelson Velasquez. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 26, Emmanuel Rivera. Batting fifth at second base, wearing number 9, is Javi Baez. Batting sixth in left field is number 17, Eddie Rosario. Batting seventh and doing the designated hitting is number 7, Christian Vasquez. Hitting in the 8th spot and playing first base is number 99, Neftali Soto. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 15, Martin Maldonado. And they're going to be facing the Mexican left-hander Julio Urias of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has worked 5 innings in his first and only start of the Classic. He allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned. He walked none and struck out 6. So that is your starting lineup for the Puerto Ricans. And now your starting lineup for the Mexicans this evening. Leading off in left field, wearing number 56 is Randy Arozarena. Batting second and in right field, wearing number 27, is Alex Verdugo. Batting third and playing first base, wearing number 32, is Joey Meneses. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 11, Rowdy Tellez. Batting fifth at third base is number 17, Isaac Paredes. Hitting in the 6th spot is the second baseman, number 3, Luis Urias. And batting in the 7th spot is the shortstop, Alan Terreo. Batting 8th and in center field is number 5, Alec Thomas. Batting 9th and doing the catching is Austin Barnes. And they're going to be facing Marcus Stroman, who takes to the hill for the Puerto Ricans. He has worked 4 2/3 innings in the Classic, allowing 2 hits, 1 run. That was earned. He has no walks and 2 Ks. And that is your starting lineup for both of these clubs. The action is set to go in just a couple moments. We're going to be back after these musical tunes, and we're glad you guys could join us tonight for some old school radio broadcasts of the World Baseball Classic. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with first pitch in just a few moments. Welcome back, everybody. We are just a few moments away from the first pitch of the ball game. It is going to be in beautiful Miami, but the dome is closed and it is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect weather conditions at Lome Depot Park. Will Little will be the home plate umpire for this one. It's going to be at Sushi Fukaya working first base. Keetalk Park is going to be at second, and Dan Bellino is going to be behind the plate. That is your umpiring crew for this first semifinal game. As we mentioned at the outset, it is a bittersweet time for the Puerto Ricans as their top closer has injured himself, and that was Edwin Diaz in the celebration the other night. And so he is gone not only for the rest of the tournament, but also out for the season for the New York Mets. So the Mets are currently in scramble mode, looking to try to fill that closer's role as they feel that they have a team that can get to the World Series. The lineup tonight with Lindor, Hernandez, and Velasquez leading off. Lindor has been an excellent table setter for the Puerto Ricans in the series. He is 7 for 15. And that follows up with Kiki Hernandez, who is 6 for 16. So both of those two players have been on over 50% of the time if you include their walks. And that is what they're going to need to get the table set for the Puerto Ricans tonight. Well, Julio Urias is taken to the hill, and he's just completing his warm-up tosses. He began the first game of the series against the Colombians, where he pitched those 5 innings, allowing 3 hits and 3 earned runs. He struck out 6 and walked none, but he is arguably the best pitcher on the staff, or best starting pitcher on the staff for the Mexicans. And that is where we stand. We've got the living room is in the house, and we have got ourselves, so we got Hollis in here as well. And maybe we've got a little extra stuff. We did put the start of this game as Venezuela and the other ones, but we have to make sure we get into the live and give that a little bit of a changeover, as that is where we're at. We should have went live with the other one, but we have ourselves the Mexico and the Puerto Rico game, and so we will make sure that one is going to change a little bit here. So Puerto Rico versus Mexico, we'll make the adjustment. Their friend the living room has pointed out 2023 World Baseball Classic. So this one is ready to get underway as Urias has completed his warm-up tosses. And now we're ready to get this one rolling right now, as the left-hander has got the baseball. We're ready to go. Here comes the first pitch of the ball game, and Urias kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. We are underway in Miami. As we mentioned, Lindor is 7 for 15 in the series. He's batting .467 with no homers and 5 runs batted in. And Urias kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now quickly 2-0. If I had to make a prediction, as they actually appeal down to the first base umpire, and they say that Lindor did go around. It looked like he had checked his swing to us, but not in the mindset of the first base umpire, Tsushi Fukaya, who went up with the right hand. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. We originally thought that tonight's game was the Puerto Rico-Mexican matchup, but of course that is going to be slated. That was originally slated for tomorrow. We thought the U.S. and Venezuela would be going tonight, but that is not the case. And so we will update our thumbnail for everybody, as there's some folks that have that as a concern. We welcome everybody to our stream tonight. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is driven down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. And that is going to make the count, or keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Lindor, Hernandez, and Velasquez. And we've got Troy's Cards and Cars and Comics as well in the house. We welcome you in here. We are watching this game from Florida. A decent crowd here tonight. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. And Urias has retired Lindor for the first out of the ball game. 1 up and 1 away for Puerto Rico, and that'll bring up Kiki Hernandez. Well, for Hernandez in the Classic, he is 6 for 16. He's got no homers and 4 runs batted in. He is with the Boston Red Sox these days. He is kind of a super utility player. He can play all over the park. One would have to think that he's going to get some opportunity in the middle infield as well as in the outfield this year for the Boston Red Sox. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Living room in the house holding court tonight, as we had Matt Hollis and Troy in here as well. Here comes the offering from Urias, who does a double pump, and that's an 87-mile-an-hour fastball that misses off the outside corner. The count is 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Puerto Ricans from left to right field, it is for the Mexicans from left to right field, it is Randy Arozarena in left. The center fielder tonight is Alec Thomas, and the right fielder is Alec Verdugo. And there's a breaking ball that misses. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say that Hernandez didn't go. That count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Around the horn from first to third, it's Joey Meneses at first. The second baseman is Luis Arias. Alan Trejo is the shortstop, and the third baseman is Isaac Paredes. As that fastball is swung on and fouled away over on the first base side, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And of course, the battery is familiar to one another. Luis Arias pitching for the Dodgers, and his battery mate Austin Barnes is behind the plate. That is where they stand here. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hernandez. as he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from Luis Arias. There's no pitch clock in the Classic, so we have none of that nonsense going on. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. So this game here will be played at the traditional pace of both teams. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Enrique Hernandez. Nelson Velasquez waits his turn on deck. We'll have to get an update on the pitch counts because there were some limits early on in the tournament. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and Enrique Hernandez is aboard. That'll be the first base runner of the ball game for the Puerto Ricans, as he will trot down to first base, and that will bring up the right fielder, Nelson Velasquez. For Velasquez on the tournament, he is 0 for 3. He has nothing on the slash line. He bats from the right side against the left-handed throwing Arias. He has reached base one time on a base on balls. They have the shift on, something else that you don't see in Major League Baseball anymore, where you have to have a balanced infield. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side, and it is past the shift. Rounding second and heading over to third is Hernandez on the single by Velasquez, and the Puerto Ricans have something brewing here in the top of the first inning with runners on the corners and only one away. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Emmanuel Rivera. So lots of Latin flavor in this one here in Miami. Even in the best of times, there's a lot of Latin flavor in Miami, but the Puerto Ricans are flying their flags. The Mexicans are in full support, as now there are runners on the corners with only one away, and Rivera stepping to the plate. In the tournament here, Rivera is 5 for 15. He's got no homers and 4 runs batted in. And usually once the pitchers can get through, the starting pitchers can get through their first inning, they can get themselves into a groove. We'll have to wait and see how Arias is able to battle this one. So Emmanuel Rivera stepping to the plate, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. It's the 13th pitch of the inning delivered so far by the left-hander Arias. And he has only thrown 7 strikes against 6 balls. He's got to improve his strike rate. They are playing Rivera to the left side. The second baseman, Luis Arias, is almost right over top of second base. And here comes the pitch from the starter, Julio Arias. It's a swung on it as pop-up lifted down the right field line. Digging hard and sliding is Alex Verdugo, but it's just going to bounce in front of him and get into the stands. That's going to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Emmanuel Rivera. The Puerto Ricans have really done well with runners in scoring position. They are 18 for 40 in the Classic, batting at a .450 clip. Clutch hitting with the runners where they are in a position to score, and one would expect that with Rivera here at the plate, there's a lot expected. They want to try to cash in something here to open up the scoring. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Emmanuel Rivera. It's a lovely night for baseball in Miami. As we said, the dome is closed. So perfect weather conditions. It is 70 degrees at first pitch. Lefty working in sort of a pseudo stretch position here. He's got it, but he does this big flex, and there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line. It is cut by Verdugo. Tagging at third and heading home is Hernandez. The throw will not be in time. It is cut off, and Hernandez has scored the first run for Puerto Rico, a sacrifice fly to right. RBI given to Rivera, and it is now a 1-0 lead here for Puerto Rico in the top half of the first inning. Velasquez has stayed at first base. So 1-0 for the Puerto Ricans, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Javier Baez. Well, for Baez in the tournament, the free swinger is 4 for 15. He's got no homers and 4 runs batted in. The Detroit Tiger shortstop is looking to have a bounce-back year after the season he had in Detroit last year, and there's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Baez. Arias has this really deep knee bend as he comes set. Now he delivers a fastball, and that is going to miss on the outside corner. And the count is even at 1-1. So 1-1 Our friend in the living room in the chat is already predicting ill will toward Javi Baez as he's thinking it's going to be a called third strike. We've got Max in the house tonight. How you doing, Max? There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. And listening in on Twitch is Unspeakable 202, and we welcome you to the stream as well. So 1-2 to Javi Baez. He is 4 for 15 in the Classic. And against Arias in his career, he is 4 for 9. Here comes the offering as he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up down the right field line. Moving back is the first baseman, and that is Joey Meneses. He dives into the netting. He's unable to come up with the play as he had leaped. The ball was possibly playable. That is certainly there as he is able to dive into the netting, but he couldn't quite come up with it. And so now that is going to keep the count at 1-2 to Baez. This is often where they make it hurt. Max is joining us from the stream tonight. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. Moving back on the warning track and looking up. And this one is gone. A home run for Baez as he's gone the other way. A 2-run shot that's going to cash in Velasquez ahead of him. And Julio Arias has not been able to keep the Puerto Ricans off the board as they've jumped out to a 3-0 lead on the 2-run homer by Javi Baez. Well, they'll probably keep the celebrations to a minimum as they've got a bunch of high fives as he comes off the field, but nobody's jumping around like they were the other night when their star closer was injured. But Javi Baez has injected a much-needed jolt of energy into the Puerto Rican side as they now have a 3-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. And the crowd of Puerto Ricans that are in attendance are absolutely going wild. Puerto Ricans, twice in this Classic, have finished in second place or have been runners up in the Classic, and they certainly bring their A game. And Puerto Ricans tonight with Javi Baez stepping up and being large, he definitely shows up in the big performances, and he has done so again here tonight. Going the other way, hit that ball right over the head of Alex Verdugo. Verdugo got back to the warning track, and all he could do was look up and watch it go into the bullpen. The Puerto Ricans have a 3-0 lead. As we wait for Eddie Rosario to come to the plate, as they had a conference on the mound to talk to the lefty Julio Arias. Our friend Troy says, well, somebody guessed wrong. Yes, probably not quite the prediction that we would have thought. Javi Baez, when he is on, he can really carry a team. And when he is off, he can really make everybody go crazy because his bat-to-ball skills are a little bit to be desired sometimes. And here comes the first offering to Rosario. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Racing back at the wall and looking up and leaping, and this one is gone to straightaway center field. Eddie Rosario has increased the lead to 4-0 here in the first inning. And again, the Puerto Ricans are celebrating as Rosario rounds the bases as he works on his jump shot before he gets there. And high fives are all around. So Marcus Stroman is going to have a 4-0 lead at least to play with before they even come to bat. So 4-0 here for the Puerto Ricans. We're not even through the first inning yet. So lots of fireworks in Miami. Back-to-back homers, a 2-run shot by Baez and a solo shot by Rosario have the Puerto Ricans out to a 4-0 lead. Benji Heel, the manager for the Mexicans, is shell-shocked in the dugout as they don't know what has hit them yet. And here's the offering from Arias as he delivers to Christian Vasquez, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is quickly 1-0. And so here comes the second offering to Vasquez. Our friend in the living room is hoping ill will on players. Well, you don't want to tweet that at Marcus Stroman. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Marcus Stroman went off on somebody on Twitter earlier today after the Edwin Diaz injury. So 2 balls and no strikes to Vasquez. Luis Arias is having his challenges here tonight. There's a fastball at 92 that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As we mentioned, we always update our ticker at the end of the innings. So it is a 4-0 lead here for the Puerto Ricans. They are up out on front here of the Mexicans in the top of the first inning. And there's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. We will be bringing you all the action again tomorrow night between the United States and Venezuela, and then the finals and the semifinal games on a Sunday and Monday. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And that'll run the count full to Christian Vaz. This game here may be over quickly, but you never know. The Mexicans have some firepower in their lineup. They're just going to have to battle and chip away. But certainly getting a 4-0 head start for the Puerto Ricans was what was expected in this one. Both teams have red tops on. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2. So a little bit deceiving. The Mexicans have the white pants with the red piping, and the Puerto Ricans have the gray pants. Of course, the Mexicans have their green trim, while the Puerto Ricans have the red, white, and blue. So here comes the offering as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right center field, racing back over, but having the room and making the catch is Alex Verdugo, and that is going to do it here in the first inning. But there's been damage done, and lots of it. 4 runs on the board for the Puerto Ricans in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There were no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Puerto Ricans 4, the Mexicans no score. We're coming back in just a couple moments with all the calls. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Hang tight as we go get ourselves a drink and update our thumbnail. We'll be back in 45 seconds with all the calls. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be moving to the bottom half of the first inning, and the Mexicans are going to have to respond quickly if they want to stay in this one. Randy Arozarena, Alex Verdugo, and Joey Meneses will be coming to bat to face Marcus Stroman. As we said, this is a game here that could get ugly and out of hand quickly if they can't sort themselves out on the mound. As we have a scoreline right now of 4-0 for the Puerto Ricans. It is World Baseball Classic action quarterfinal number 1 that we are providing our live commentary for, and we are glad that you could join us tonight. It is Puerto Rico and Mexico, and so hopefully you are enjoying the call with us here. We'll be back again tomorrow night as we are going to be doing the game between the United States and Venezuela, and of course we will be back a little bit later as well to do all the action on Sunday and Monday in the semifinals. So we're just waiting here for the 2 teams to get themselves sorted out as Marcus Stroman is completing his warm-up tosses and will be ready to resume the action here in just a couple moments. As we mentioned tonight, we are doing all this other stuff as well. Troy's Cards and Cars, and of course the living room, and Matt Hollis and others. Max, who's joined us here tonight. We appreciate everybody for popping in. Marcus Stroman pitched against Nicaragua in his opener. He went 4 2/3, allowed a couple of hits, 1 run earned, walked none, and struck out 2. So he is set to deliver the first pitch of the ball game to Randy Arozarena, and it's a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Arozarena batting from the right side. He's 7 for 14 in the tournament with a homer and 9 RBIs. And the pitch from Stroman is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that darts across the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is now gone even at 1-1. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball delivered, and it's a fouled off down the first base line, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We put up the wrong thumbnail for this game, and we were laughing a little bit and trying to get this here to make the change on it. Hopefully we were able to do that, so we'll change our thumbnail for everybody for their liking. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. It is fielded by Francisco Lindor. He fires to first. It takes the first baseman, Neftali, a little bit off the bag, but Arozarena is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that will bring up Alex Verdugo. We have this past week working our camps with us here, we have a former big leaguer. His name is Eric Fox. And Eric is messaging me, and he says that the manager of the Mexican team, Heel, was his roommate a number of years ago when he was with the Texas Rangers, which is kind of interesting. And so there's a ground ball to short again. That is fielded by Lindor, and Verdugo is retired at first base. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3. Lindor had to go to the right of second base to make the play, and he was able to do it and made a nice play throwing it to first base. So 2 up and 2 away, both on ground balls to the shortstop, and that's going to leave it all the first baseman, Joey Meneses. So as Meneses steps to the plate, he is 9 for 19 in the tournament. He's got a couple of homers and 6 RBIs. Those big blows came against the United States when the Mexicans were able to take care of the Americans in the pool play. So the first pitch delivered to Meneses was a ball, and then it's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Meneses bats from the right side. He had a decent year last year in the big leagues, as he was kind of a late starter or late bloomer, as there's a fastball that misses down, and the count now is 2 balls and 1 strike. To play the Nationals, where he's getting a chance to be an everyday guy. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. Defensively tonight for the Puerto Ricans, from left field to right field, it's Eddie Rosario on left. The center fielder is Enrique Hernandez, and in right field, it's Nelson Velasquez. Around the horn from first to third, it is Neftali Soto at first. Javi Baez is at second. The shortstop's Frankie Lindor, and at third base, it is Emmanuel Rivera. The battery, of course, is Stroman and Martin Maldonado. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded softly over to third, fielded neatly by Lindor. He throws to first, and the first inning is finished on a Francisco Lindor show, as he was involved in all 3 of the groundouts that Marcus Stroman was able to induce. So no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 1 complete. It is Puerto Rico 4 and Mexico no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We appreciate you all for being with us here tonight. Here is our friend Matt Hollis, who stopped in earlier on. We appreciate Matt and everything that you do, Matty.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the second inning, and we're going to have Neftali Soto, Martin Maldonado, and then the top of the order in Francisco Lindor coming to bat. It was a 4-run explosion in the first inning, and that is where we stand right now. 4-0 lead for the Puerto Ricans over the Mexicans as we're about ready to begin inning number 2. Neftali Soto is a former big league player. He has some pedigree, and Soto is currently applying his trade in Japan. And so he is going to be leading off here. He's getting the nod at first base. He was a middle infielder. He played with the Cincinnati Reds organization when he had spent time before leaving for Japan. And the first pitch delivered to Soto was a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. Soto bats from the right side. In this tournament, he is currently 1 for 9. And he has himself nothing across the slash line. And here comes the pitch from Arias. It is a fastball that catches the inside corner. And now the count is quickly 0-2 to Soto. Soto has been able to carve himself out quite a nice career over in the Japanese league. As we get a chance to see a lot of the Japanese games, we don't always get a chance to see him play, as he is a base star. And there's a fastball, went up the ladder that he swings on and misses, and Arias puts him in the book for strikeout number 2. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Martin Maldonado. Well, for Maldonado on the tournament, he is 4 for 8. He also has nothing across the slash line. But he is indeed getting the opportunity here to be the rock for the Puerto Ricans behind the plate. The first pitch is a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul just past the bag at third base. The third baseman for the Mexicans is Isaac Paredes. He fielded the ball backhand, but it is a foul ball. The count is quickly 0-1. Maldonado has been a rock for the Houston Astros organization, as he has been their catcher. He has also spent time in the Milwaukee Brewers organization. I remember Maldonado was involved in a bench-clearing brawl a few years ago, and there was a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. When the brawl had broke out, he had delivered a knockout punch and just floored whoever it was when the fight had taken place, and it was a punishing right hand. I remember there was a big old-fashioned brouhaha. That was prior to him coming to Houston. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As mentioned, we are going to be back on the airwaves tomorrow when it'll be the United States playing against Venezuela, and hopefully you can be there to join us. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Maldonado. Here's the pitch from Urias. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. And then the semifinals will go on Sunday and Monday. We'll give you the call. Cuba is waiting, as is Japan. They are going to be in those semifinals. And then it will be for all the marbles in the last game. It's going to be on Tuesday night, the 1-game classic final. And here comes the 2-2 offering, as it's a fastball swung on and missed. Maldonado is blown away on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. He is gone for out number 2, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Francisco Lindor. I have to say the last 2 batters were overmatched by the lefty Arias, as he was able to walk the ladder on both of them and get them out on strikes. So Frankie Lindor steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He has struck out his only time to the plate. And for everybody that is listening, the thumbnail has been corrected. There's a breaking ball that is swung on, and it is hook foul down the left field line. That is going to make the count. No balls and 1 strike to Lindor. Our friend Living Room says that the game is over. Bring on the singing Hollises and the dancing Rademachers. Well, we'll see what we can do with that one. So no balls and 1 strike to Lindor as the lefty Urias works from the set position. And now he kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Lindor. Once Urias, if he can settle in, he can get very, very tough, and it'll be what the doctor will order for the Mexicans. They've got to be able to start chipping away and get some runs of their own against Marcus Stroman and turn it over into a battle of the bullpens. I would think that the bullpen needle would sway in the direction of the Puerto Ricans. So the Puerto Ricans scoring runs here often, it could be a problem for the Mexicans at their back end. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away by Lindor. So no balls and 2 strikes. Lindor, as we said, 7 for 16 in the tournament with no homers and 5 RBIs. Hitting in the leadoff spot. This is pitch number 41 from Urias. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We were watching the game last night between the exhibition game between the Hiroshima Toyo Carp and the Oryx Buffaloes, and the Carp wear red jerseys, much like the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans are wearing tonight. And their numbers were also in red, so it was very difficult to see what the numbers were on the back of the jerseys. Certainly for television purposes, the Mexican number is also difficult to read as it is green. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and Lindor is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. Urias has struck out the side. That's 4 strikeouts in the ball game now. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 1.5. It is Puerto Rico 4, Mexico no score. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the 2nd inning. Glad you guys could make it in here with us tonight, and we look forward to having you hanging with us here for the rest of the game. We'll be back in just a few. For 4-0 for Puerto Rico over Mexico. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. It is going to be going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. We're glad you guys could listen in. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you all for being here and for listening to our stream here tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving along here to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Puerto Rico has a 4-0 lead over Mexico. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Mexicans. Rowdy Tellez, Isaac Paredes, and Luis Arias to face the right-hander Marcus Stroman, who retired the side 1-2-3 in the 1st inning, all with ground ball outs. And so this is where we stand here. Tellez, 6 for 17 in the tournament. He's got a homer and 5 RBIs. He's waiting on the first offering from Stroman. It's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Rowdy Tellez. Tellez batting from the left side, and there is a changeup swung on. It is popped up in the infield. It is over on the right side of second base where Francisco Lindor had positioned himself. So again, still involved in all the putouts. And Frankie Lindor makes that one a catch for out number one, and that will bring up the third baseman, Isaac Paredes. Isaac Paredes, 4 for 17 in the tournament with no homers and 2 RBIs. The current Tampa Bay Ray was a one-time Detroit Tiger. He had himself an opportunity to get to play almost every day last year for the Rays, something he wasn't being able to be afforded with Detroit. There's a first pitch fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Paredes was caught on a hot mic last year, and it was something like the effect was, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it was in the crux of that Detroit doesn't know what they're doing. He'd homered once against them and had a couple of hits, and there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-1. And so he was tossing the Detroit organization under the bus. And here comes the offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit to deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track, looking up, and this ball is gone. A home run by Paredes as he has cut into the Puerto Rican lead. It is now 4-1. But the solo shot Paredes, that ball got out in a hurry as Marcus Stroman has served that one up. And the Mexicans are on the board with their first run of the ball game. So 4-1 is the scoreline, as Paredes has taken that into the left center field power alley. It was a frozen rope shot for sure. The score is now 4-1. So this one is not over yet. And to celebrate, he gets a sombrero, a purple and gold sombrero, to walk the dugout. And that is what he is wearing there. I'm not sure if that's going to stick in some organizations. I know the Toronto Blue Jays this year have retired the blue jacket. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. And I'm sure that that probably had something to do with a couple of their players, Teoscar Hernandez and a couple of others, being moved in the offseason. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-0 Luis Arias. Arias is 1 for 10 in the series. He had some struggles a couple of games ago playing in the shortstop position. He had got handcuffed on a couple of balls. But he gets the nod at second base tonight. There's a first base or fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Arias. 1 gone here in the last half of the second inning. The Mexicans trail 4-1. As Stroman rocks into the motion and he kicks and fires, it is a fastball swung on. This ball is hit into right field. It stays up in the air long enough as Nelson Velasquez, who's running in toward the foul line, makes the catch, and that is going to retire Arias for the second out of the inning. And that will leave it all up to Alan Trejo, the shortstop for the Mexicans tonight. For Trejo in the tournament, he is 3 for 13. He's got no homers and 1 unbatted in. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Stroman. He's not a big fella. Diminutive shortstop waiting on the first offering from Stroman. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Stroman pitching from the right side gets his sign from the catcher, Martin Maldonado, as he looks in and works in the set position, but there's a wind-up step, and he throws a fastball that misses on the outside corner. They appeal down to the first base umpire at Sushi Fukaya and says that Trejo didn't go, and that's going to even the count at 1-1. We've got a couple of American umpires on the crew here tonight in Little and Bellino, and then Fukaya is the Japanese umpire at first base and a Korean umpire working second. There's a breaking ball that misses down in the way, and the count is now 2-1. The pitch counts in the Classic, in the first round of the Classic, it was 65 pitches. The quarterfinals, the pitchers can go upwards of 80 pitches. Now, we were looking for that pitch count, and in the championship round, it is, I believe, 90 pitches or something along those lines, or 95. Missed out on that one. There is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-1. So I'm curious to see exactly how this will all shape up. Who will go next for the Puerto Ricans? There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field, moving back on the warning track. And about 3 steps in front of the wall, making the grab, is the center fielder, Kiki Hernandez. And that is going to do it here for Mexico in their half of the second inning. But they do get a run back on the solo shot by Isaac Paredes. So there was 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 2 complete innings. It is Puerto Rico 4, Mexico 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the third inning when we return right after this. We appreciate you guys for listening in. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Four to 1 is the scoreline for Puerto Rico over Mexico as we move to the top of the third inning. We'll be back in just a couple moments after a few more tunes to give you that call. Hang tight. We appreciate you being here. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the third inning. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Puerto Rico batting order. That means Enrique Hernandez, Nelson Velasquez, and Emmanuel Rivera to be facing the left-hander Julio Arias. We were talking about earlier a little bit about the hurry-up rules in Major League Baseball this year with the pitch clocks and everything else. Well, when you do the Japanese games late at night, it's 60 seconds between innings, unless, of course, there may be a pitching change. But usually 60 seconds between innings, and the pace of the game is going at a very, very good clip. And of course, here you've got commercial breaks, which take you to a couple of minutes in between. That slows the game down, especially if you've got 18 half innings. It's 18 minutes that you got extra because of the commercials. The first pitch delivered to Enrique Hernandez is a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees. The count is 0-1. Hernandez tonight walked in his first time up, and he came around and scored on an RBI sac fly by Emmanuel Rivera. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. Taken on one hop by Paredes. He throws over to first. Ball is low, but a nice pick there by Meneses. And that is going to retire Hernandez on a ground out 5-3 for out number 1. And that'll bring up Nelson Velasquez to the dish. Well, Velasquez tonight is 1 for 1. He scored a run as he was brought home on the 2-run homer by Javi Baez in the first inning. Velasquez on the tournament is 1 for 4, and he also has a walk. So Velasquez batting in the 3-hole tonight, waiting on the first offering from the lefty Arias, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball at 79 miles an hour that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Nelson Velasquez. Just as a reminder, we'll also be resuming our Japanese coverage. We called an exhibition game last night. We'll be doing a couple more next week. There's a breaking ball that is waved out in the dirt. The count now goes to 0-2 on Velasquez. And then it all gets going 2 weeks from today, as it is going to be opening night in Japan on the 30th and the 31st. It'll be the opening game will be between the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, the Tohoku Rocket and Golden Eagles in the brand new stadium in Hokkaido. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's popped up into shallow center field. Coming in on it is Alec Thomas, and he's going to make the catch. And Velasquez is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So after all that damage has been done, Julio Arias is starting to find himself a groove. He has retired now 6 Puerto Rican batters in a row, and including striking out 3 of them. But they do have Javier Assad up and throwing in the Mexican bullpen. So 47 pitches right now for Arias. So he looks like he has finally got himself in the groove and settled down. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now is quickly no balls and 1 strike to Rivera. As the lefty goes back to work, he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on again, taken on 1 hop by Paredes at third. He fires across the diamond, and just like the first out of the inning, Manuel Rivera is retired for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away. And that is going to bring up Javi Baez. So Baez is stepping up to the plate. Baez tonight homered in his first trip. He has a couple RBIs. He is 5 for 16 in the tournament. He's got a homer and 6 runs batted in. So we're waiting here on the information on Baez, as we've lost our feed here for just a moment. Javi Baez looks like we have ourselves a commercial break. So we're going to take a moment here. We'll come back in just a moment as they're going to be coming out to, looks like maybe have a pitching change. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll get you all updated to speed. It is 2 gone here in the inning, as Arias was pitching here for the Mexicans, but looks like we've got the side retired. As I said, we lost our feed here for a little bit. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We are certainly not in mid-season form, nor are we in a form right now. We have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up to bat for the Mexicans, and they'll be facing Marcus Stroman here in the 3rd inning, and we must be losing our minds a little bit, as it was a 3 up, 3 down inning there for the starting pitcher Luis Arias in the 3rd inning. So Stroman ready to go to work. He kicks and fires, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. I guess we got 2 more weeks of our spring training to get ourselves in a position where we can do this on a nightly and regular basis. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded on 1 hop over to first base. It is fielded neatly by Soto. The race to the bag is what he wins, and it's a ground out to 3 as Alex Thomas is retired for out number 1, or Alec Thomas retired for out number 1 here in the bottom half of inning number 3. That's going to bring up the catcher, Austin Barnes. For Barnes in the tournament, he is 3 for 10. He's got no homers and no RBIs. He gets the nod tonight, and of course, he's catching his teammate, Julio Arias, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I have to say, Marcus Stroman has a lot of movement on his pitches. He's got a 2-seam that has a lot of backdoor run. And here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes quickly to Barnes. Barnes batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Stroman. He rocks into the delivery, and he kicks and he fires. It is a changeup that catches the outside corner for a called third strike. Will Little a little slow to go up with the right hand, but he has called Barnes out for looking. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that one go by for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Randy Arozarena. Well, for Arozarena, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He is 7 for 15 on the tournament with a homer and 9 RBIs. He is the fire starter that Mexico needs, as is where he needs to be here in the top of the order to get things going. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses well off the plate, and the count is quickly 1-0. A very exciting player. Only one hit so far for the Mexicans in this game, and it was the home run by Isaac Paredes in the second inning. So Stroman rocking into the motion. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And Arozarena is aboard with a 2-out single here in the third. That is going to bring Alex Verdugo to the plate. Well, Arozarena continues his hot play. Whenever there is the big stage, the Tampa Bay Rays outfielder is always the first to get there. We have our friend the hobbyist who has checked in here tonight. We welcome him to listen. We appreciate you for stopping in, Chris. We thank you. So Stroman on the hill here. He kicks and he fires. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined softly over to Lindor at short. He takes it on one hop. He throws it to second. And that is going to retire Arozarena on a fielder's choice, 6-4. And that will do it here in the third inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There was one hit. There were no errors. And there was one runner left aboard. We are now through 3 complete. It is Puerto Rico 4 and Mexico 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Glad you guys can make it in here with us tonight. We appreciate you for being here. It is World Classic Baseball 2023 quarterfinal number 1 between Puerto Rico and Mexico. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving here to the top of the 4th inning. It is going to be Javi Baez, Eddie Rosario, and Christian Vasquez to come to bat for Puerto Rico, as they will be facing the left-hander Julio Arias, or slated to continue to face Julio Arias. The Mexicans did have a reliever up in the bullpen, and obviously it was Arias has just really started to settle down. He has retired 7 straight Puerto Ricans, as he had himself in a host of trouble there in the first inning, as he had given up 3 hits, including back-to-back homers to Baez and Rosario that accounted for 3 of the 4 Puerto Rican runs. And that is where we stand. So it will be Baez, Rosario, and Vasquez here to get things going in the bottom half of the inning. And the first pitch delivered to Javi Baez is fouled away for strike 1, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Baez. Baez to be followed by Eddie Rosario. As I said, we had a little bit of a glitch there as we were slightly lost our feed for just a moment. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed by Javi Baez. So no balls and 1 strike is what we have, and continue it on here. Baez had stepped out of the batter's box and had to do a little adjustment to himself. It was like he was shaking something out of his neck. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a changeup that is swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. That is the Javi Baez that we generally recognize with the Detroit Tigers. He is a free swinger. That last pitch was well off the outside corner and down, and yet Baez was attacking that pitch. He has a very high swing and miss rate. And here's the pitch from Arias. There's a fastball swung on, and it's hooked into left field for base hit. So a 2-strike pitch he is able to turn on, and he turns it into a single, as that is a knock for Baez to lead off the 4th inning here, and that will bring up the left fielder, Eddie Rosario. So after retiring 7 straight, Arias has now given up a leadoff hit here in the 4th inning. So the runner at first is Baez. Rosario steps to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight, 3 for 14 in the series. He's got a couple of homers and 4 RBIs, including that solo shot back in the first. 52 pitches for the lefty Arias. As Rosario gets himself dug in, he's ready to go. And here comes the first offering. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It is fielded by the shortstop, Torrio, who is right behind the bag. He steps on second for 1, over to first. It is a double play ball, and that is 2 for the price of 1 as Rosario has grounded into it. It's the old 6-3 variety. He has gone for the second out as Baez is forced at second. So 2 away on 1 pitch. And that will bring up the designated hitter, Christian Vasquez. Well, they had Rosario played perfectly, but they put Trejo right behind the base at second base. The ball was chopped over the head of Arias. It was an easy play for the Mexican shortstop to turn to. So here's Vasquez to the plate, and the first pitch is a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend the hobbyist in the chat asks, so he says, what do you think about the new rules in Major League Baseball this year? I never, ever thought I would see a shot clock in Major League Baseball, or a pitch clock in this case, because that's what it reminds me of. I think we're playing basketball or something, or maybe football where you have a play clock. I'm not a big fan of it, especially at the experimental at the Major League level. I call it experimental. There's a fastball that misses up and away to Vasquez, and the count is 1-1. If you want to speed the game up, there's a few things you could do. Take the DH out of the game, put the pitcher back in hitting. And the reason why is usually the pitchers bat about 100-plus points lower than the average Major League hitter. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. Basically, it creates a dead at bat in the lineup. So instead of having 9 hitters with the DH who is paid to hit, the pitcher is basically a dead out. So that means he's not going to get on base as frequently as that designated hitter, and thus it's going to speed up the game. Another thing they could do to speed up the game is also to reduce the commercial time in between innings. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is laced down the left field line. It's fair. It's going to get into the corner, and it's going to be extra bases. And cruising into second is Vasquez with a double, with 2 gone here in the 4th inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Neftali Soto. So those are certainly some of the things that Major League Baseball can do to speed up the game without having to disrupt the type of play. And I think it would be a lot more beneficial for Major League Baseball to be able to do that. And I think that that would be it. I mean, I know they talk about losing revenue in between innings, but you don't have to lose revenue if you increase the spot to the sponsor who's paying for the 30-second ad. Just double the cost and reduce the breaks between innings from 2 minutes to 1. So Soto here at the plate, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. He is 1 for 10 in the tournament. So here comes the pitch, and it is a breaking ball, and it is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. As the hobbyist says, not giving up commercials, just if you have 4 30-second spots between innings, you reduce it to 2 30-second spots, but you charge the sponsors twice as much. In other words, if it's $20,000 for a commercial or 30-second spot or whatever you're charging, charge them the $20,000. Instead of times 4, make it $40,000 times 2, and you come up with the same dollar amount, or whatever that might be to shorten it up. And there's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count now is 1-1 to Soto. So in other words, basically what you're doing is you're getting the same amount of revenue, but you have less commercial time. I think there's other ways they can do some of those things to speed up the game as well, such as get your players who are making those multi-millions to run on and off the field a little quicker. Sometimes they Cadillac on and lollygag it off. And that would be something that would be well as changing the pace of the game. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to third base. It is fielded on the backhand side by Paredes. He throws a two-hopper over to first, and that is going to retire Soto on a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for Puerto Rico in their half of the fourth. They had no runs in the inning on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 3.5. It is the Puerto Ricans 4, the Mexicans 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll be carrying on our conversation of what to do to speed up the game. We appreciate you guys for listening and being here. We'll be back right after these tunes. Nothing says international baseball like the World Baseball Classic, and we do have our Japanese cheerleaders on here for tonight as we are in between the innings. And so this is our Japanese cheerleader moment. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It'll be Joey Meneses, Rowdy Tellez, and Isak Paredes to come to bat for the Mexicans to face Marcus Stroman, who has allowed 1 run in his 3 innings of work so far. We were talking a little bit in the last half inning. Our friend the hobbyist asked about giving up commercials or that type of stuff. Also, we were talking about different things about speeding up the game in Major League Baseball. And so certainly the pitch clock and different rules that are out there. Certainly Max Scherzer had some interesting maneuvers the other day where the batter got to call his time and Scherzer just stayed in the set position. And as soon as he stepped back in, he delivered the pitch, not letting the hitter get comfortable. As that first pitch delivered to Meneses was a fastball that missed down, and the second one was a fastball that misses in. So 2 balls and no strikes to Meneses. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to the shortstop his first time up. He leads the Classic in hits. He is 9 for 20, batting .450 in the tournament. As the right-hander Stroman pauses at the top of his delivery and then fires a 91-mile-an-hour fastball in there for a strike, and the count is 2-1. We haven't seen a lot of that from Stroman tonight, where he's had some pauses, but that was the first one that he delivered to Meneses. There's a fastball swung on. It is sliced down the right field line, and it is just going to reach the seats just foul of the right field foul pole. That's going to even the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Meneses made his major league debut last August at the age of 30 years old. And he had himself quite a finish to the year for the Washington Nationals. And here comes the offering from Stroman. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. Racing over to his right is Enrique Hernandez, and he dives and makes the catch. And that is going to retire Meneses. He does a great job to get on his horse and to go into the left center field gap. And he was able to make the catch on the run, and that will retire Meneses for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Rowdy Tellez. For Tellez tonight, he popped to the shortstop his first time up. He is 0 for 1 on the evening, 6 for 18 on the tournament. He's got a homer and 5 runs batted in. So the always versatile Kiki Hernandez making plays in center field for the Puerto Ricans. And here comes the first offering to Tellez from Stroman, who kicks and delivers. It is a changeup swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. The first time through the order, Stroman was pretty much in a normal state, I would call it. But now he is starting to mix in the pauses and the hesitation in the delivery, trying to disrupt the timing of the hitters. So Stroman ready to go back to work again. He holds set at the belt, but he's asking for another sign from his catcher. And now he rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that makes the hitter Tellez skip rope out of the way, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Isaac Paredes waits his turn on deck. So here comes Stroman. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-1. For those of you who are new to our channel, of course, growing up being a Detroit Tiger fan and following the Tigers, especially to see the type of year that Paredes had last year for Tampa, hitting 20 homers and playing a solid infield position. He's made some really nice plays tonight at third base. There was a breaking ball swung on by Tellez, grounded softly over to first. It is fielded by Soto, who flips it to Stroman covering. And that will retire Tellez on a ground out 3-1 for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, Isaac Paredes. So to see Paredes really not get an opportunity to get everyday play, and then the other frustrating part is that Jmar Candelario, who was playing every day for Detroit, basically was cut at the end of the year last year. He signed a contract with Washington, but never got a chance to play with Detroit. Did Paredes, at least on a regular basis, and now he is found a home in Tampa Bay. And for whatever reason, the Tampa Bay Rays do bleed a lot out of their players. So here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball that comes inside and has hit Paredes, and now he is going to make the trot down to first base. I don't think that was accidental by any stretch of the imagination. That was a fastball that ran up and in here, and Paredes is aboard. He caught him right on the arm guard on the left elbow. So I guess if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that would be the place to do it. I think that Marcus Stroman must have saw the home run trot and the bat flip and all the rest of the stuff leaving the batter's box, probably didn't like it. So he fires that pitch right into the arm guard of Paredes. So Paredes is at first, and now that brings Luis Arias to the plate. And here comes the pitch from Stroman. And the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, fouled away, and the count is 0-1. And I'm going to tell you, if that was intentional, if it was a pitch that he decided to come inside here with 2 outs on the 4th inning, because to me, that was probably a message sender. I don't like the message. You're up 4-1 here in the 4th inning. You don't want to wake a sleeping bear. And right now, the Mexicans are asleep. They've only got the 1 run by Paredes, who homered in the 2nd inning. And so you don't want to wake them up and give them some motivation or to give them any type of fuel for their fire. Just go out and keep doing what you're doing. Throw strikes, mow them down, and let the game take care of itself. There's a ground ball hit over to the second baseman. And it is fielded by Javi Baez, who's to the left of second base. And they throw to first, and that's going to retire it. Now Baez is having a few words with Paredes as they leave the field. And that is going to do it. A ground out 4-3 to end the inning for out number 3. And that is going to finish the 4th inning. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and runner on the board. We are now through 4 complete. It is the Puerto Ricans 4, the Mexicans 1. We'll be right back in just a couple moments, everybody. We appreciate you guys for checking us out tonight. Here's a few more tunes and some more of our Japanese cheerleaders. is 4-1 Puerto Rico as we're going to be moving to the top of the fifth. We'll be back in just a couple moments after our cheerleaders tune you up. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are now moving to the top half of the fifth inning. It'll be Martin Maldonado, Francisco Lindor, and Enrique Hernandez coming to bat for Puerto Rico to face the Mexicans here. 4-5-0 for the Puerto Ricans. 1-2-0 is the line score for the Mexicans so far, as the starting pitcher, Marcus Stroman, has kept the Mexicans off balance through his first 4 innings of work. So we're ready to go as it's 9-1-2 in the batting order. Javier Assad is now entering the ballgame as he's going to take over for Julio Urias. He has worked 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs, struck out 2, and walked none. So Javier Assad, a right-hander, now in the ballgame for Mexico. And the first pitch is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1. Well, Urias, who gave up those 4 runs in the first inning, really did settle down. He had retired 7 straight before allowing the hit to Javi Baez, and then quickly induced a double play ball to erase him. And here's the pitch from Assad. A fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now quickly 0-2 to Martin Maldonado. So no balls and 2 strikes. I still have to ask myself, I don't really understand why Stroman plugged Paredes. That is, at this game, you might want to just let that one lie, keep on trucking and not have to worry about anything. And there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Maldonado takes it for a called 3rd strike, and he is retired for out number 1 here in the 5th inning. I have to say, I don't know if I've seen Assad pitch before at any level, but that had a backdoor run to it that caught the outside part of the plate. And he was able to get that for called strike 3 as Maldonado stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 1. So Lindor strides to the plate tonight. That's Frankie Lindor. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out both of his trips. And he takes a fastball upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Lindor. Lindor 7 for 17 now in the tournament with no homers and 5 RBIs. Looking to reach base for the first time tonight. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. For those of you who are new to our channel, we do appreciate you for stopping by and listening in tonight. We will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for the U.S. and Venezuela. And there is a fastball swung on, and it is lifted into straightaway center field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of Alec Thomas. So Frankie Lindor is aboard with a 1-out single here in the 5th inning. And that will bring Kiki Hernandez to the plate. Have to keep an eye on Lindor. He is a threat to steal. He's only got 1 stolen base in the tournament, but he can run a little bit. And one would expect that you might want to try to get him into strong position with the 2 and 3 hitters about to come up next. So Hernandez steps in. He has really struggled in the tournament, or actually, he's not struggled as much in the tournament. He is 7 for 17 now. 6 for 17 now, as he's got a run and a walk here tonight. As we said, it is our version of spring training. We haven't called too many games yet as we gear up into the season. We're looking forward to that. Not just the MLB season, but the Japanese League, as we do a lot of games late night. If you're awake North American time, come and join us. As we do get an interesting crowd. We have the gambling crowd that likes to come in on some nights. We will be doing our picks. We're going to be doing daily picks of the Japanese games that will end up on our community page. And here comes the pitch from Assad. The fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side. It's going to even the count to Hernandez at 1 strike. So if you're in the mood and you want to listen to some late night Japanese baseball, we'd love to have you aboard for some of our calls. So 1 strike to Hernandez. The right-hander Assad works from the set position. He holds at the belt. And he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down. It squirts away from the catcher Austin Barnes, and that's going to run the count to 2 strike. Assad is a big right-hander. He's got glasses on. It kind of makes you always wonder when you're facing guys who wear glasses, especially when they've got Coke bottle style glasses, that they can actually see where the ball's going. Well, his glasses aren't that big, but they are pronounced. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-1. When you look at Julio Urias, he wears glasses, but they're almost like goggles. If you didn't know that he was a pitcher, you'd think he might have been a racquetball player. So 3 strike to Kiki Hernandez. Trying to get this one back here or get back into this one, or it will be the Mexicans. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-2. So Assad has got to keep the Puerto Ricans at bay. The 4-run uprising in the first inning was where all the damage has been done for Puerto Rico. As we said, Mexico Claude over to the left side of second base. It is fielded by Javi Baez as he slides to the ground. Sorry, not Baez, by the second baseman Urias. Slides to the ground. He gets up and he throws back to first. I don't know. I think that might have been an easier play for Torrio, but because of where he was positioned, he goes backhand, slides, does a 180, and fires out the runner going to first base, which is Hernandez. That's going to go down as a ground out 4-3. Lindor is going to be safe at second on that play. And that is going to bring up Nelson Velasquez to the plate. So Urias is having a conversation here with Frankie Lindor, who is the runner at second base. So we have a pause in the action right now. We never get a lot of great things that go on. Sometimes you get delays for a variety of reasons. This one here is the manager coming out to have a couple of words with his starting pitcher. So Mexico trailing 4-1. The runner at second is Francisco Lindor. The batter is, slated to be Nelson Velasquez, but it looks like we may have ourselves a pinch hitter here, and there is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0, and looks like MJ Melendez has entered the ball game, and that's exactly who it is. MJ Melendez here. He is 3 for 15 in the tournament with no homers and 4 RBIs. So Nelson Velasquez's day is done. And there is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Melendez. Interesting that is the case. Already the game of chess is being played by both of these managers, as Melendez is at the dish here with 2 gone here in the 5th inning. Assad gets his sign from his catcher Barnes, and he works to the set position. He checks the runner at second, and he kicks and fires. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. Melendez is the highly sought or highly considered to be not just a prospect anymore, but certainly a part of the young group with the Kansas City Royals, along with Bobby Witt and others who they figure is going to have a bright future in the big leagues, and the heir apparent to Salvador Perez. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner for a ball, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 strike to Melendez. As we mentioned, we do appreciate everybody popping in here tonight and checking out the channel. As a reminder, we will be back at it again tomorrow, as it will be USA Venezuela at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 Eastern. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4 as Melendez has drawn himself a 2-out walk, and it's going to put runners at first and second. And that will bring Emmanuel Rivera to the plate. Well, Rivera tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded to third his last time up. He had a sacrifice fly back in the first inning that drove home Enrique Hernandez with the first run of the ball game. So he bats here with runners at first and second and 2 away. Puerto Rico looking to add to their 4-1 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. The right-hander Assad works to the set position. He checks the runner and delivers. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Rivera to be followed by Javi Baez, should he be able to keep the inning alive. Assad is really having to work here. This is going to be pitch number 19 of the inning. Curious to see how Benji Hill is going to be able to manage this for the Mexicans, how he's going to be able to continue to use his pitching staff. We saw the other night how the Colombians were using their staff against the Americans. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to short. It is fielded neatly by Trio. He throws to second for the fielder's choice. And Assad has got himself out of a jam, as that will end the inning, as it is going to retire Melendez 6-4 at second base for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, for Puerto Rico in their half of the 5th, they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is Puerto Rico leading Mexico 4-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for bouncing, checking us out tonight. We have a few tunes for your listening pleasure. We'll be back with the call in just a few moments. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning in just a couple of moments. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Mexican batting order to come to bat. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this from our friend Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order to face Marcus Stroman. It'll be Alan Trio, Alec Thomas, and Austin Barnes. And the first pitch delivered to Trio is a fastball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Trio tonight is 0 for 1. He flew to center field his first time up, and he takes a fastball just off the outside corner for ball 2. The count is 2-0. For those of you who are joining us, we give our old school radio style broadcasts, and we appreciate you guys for listening in to the first game of the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. As Stroman kicks and delivers, it is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now is 2 balls and 1 strike to Trejo. For the tournament, Trejo is 3 for 14. He's got no homers and an RBI. That flyout that he had back in the 2nd inning went right to the deepest part of the ballpark and straightaway center field. But it was easily hauled in by Kiki Hernandez for the final out of that inning. And here's the pitch from Stroman. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trejo. Right-hander Stroman continuing to work here as he gets his sign from his catcher Martin Maldonado. He kicks and he delivers. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. Trejo is down on strikes for the first out of the inning, so 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up the center fielder, Alek Thomas. So Thomas tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded to the first baseman his first time up. He is 3 for 14 in the tournament, as he is ready to face Marcus Stroman for the second time. And we may have ourselves, there is a changeup taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count is quickly 0-1. Thomas batting from the left side. He too has a lot of body armor on his right elbow, as do some of the others. We've got Steve Rademacher in the house. There's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Appreciate you for being here, Steve, and thanks for jumping in here tonight, as we've had a lot of people bounce into the stream, that is for sure. There is a changeup that misses down, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Alek Thomas. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As we said, if you're new, don't forget to bookmark the channel, as we will be doing every game of the Classic, but we also do the Japanese League during the year, so the NPB season is going to be kicking off in 2 weeks from today. There is a changeup swung on and fouled away, and the count is going to remain at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually, sorry, it'll be 2 weeks from yesterday. It's a single game, and then the rest of the league will get going on the Friday. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alek Thomas. Stroman rocking into the motion. He kicks and fires. It is a changeup swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 2-2. Enjoy our Japanese baseball. It's a lot of fun. Our friend Ryan Doherty has popped in here tonight. Our friend in the living room says 5 drink minimum. I think Steve Rademacher has already met those goals. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is tapped slowly up the middle. It is fielded by Baez, but he is not going to throw to first. He backhanded the ball as momentum was taking him into center field, but the speedy Alek Thomas is able to get himself an infield single here with 1 out in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the catcher, Austin Barnes. So Barnes tonight 0 for 1 officially. He struck out looking back in the 3rd inning. He is 3 for 11 on the series. So Frankie Lindor, Javi Baez, interesting comparisons, as they were back-to-back picks in the 2011 draft. Can't believe it has been 12 years ago, almost 12 years, that these two players have been picked. If you say who has carved out the better career, I certainly, even though some of the numbers are similar, I have to point my finger towards Francisco Lindor. And here's the first pitch delivered. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It is picked up by Melendez. Digging for third is Thomas, and the throw is going to be offline. He's going to go first to third, and now the Mexicans have something brewing here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as Austin Barnes has himself a single. Alek Thomas has advanced to third, and now the top of the order in Randy Arozarena, the dangerous Randy Arozarena, coming to bat. So now we've got ourselves some trouble brewing in Miami for the starter, Marcus Stroman. So really, since the 1st inning, the Puerto Rican bats have been quiet, as they had that 4-run uprising in the top of the 1st. Mexicans were able to get one back on a solo shot by Isaac Paredes in the 2nd, but now with 1 away, it is Alek Thomas at 3rd, Austin Barnes at 1st, and Randy Arozarena at the dish. And if you look at somebody who has the flair, or has a flair for the dramatics, It is Randy Arozarena. Now we have a conference on the mound as the Puerto Ricans are going to get together and talk about what is going on. But the Mexicans do have something going here in the last half of the fifth inning. Well, that conference is over as Alec Thomas was able to go and get himself a drink. The mariachi band is playing in the stands, and we are ready for the action once again. So Randy Arozarena tonight is 1 for 2. He had a single his last time up. He grounded the short in the first inning. He is 8 for 16 on the tournament. This is the first real trouble that Stroman has had to have here tonight. And here's the first offering to Arozarena. As he kicks and fires, it is a breaking ball that misses well off the plate. The count is quickly 1-0. Arozarena to be followed by Alec Verdugo. Well, if you want to face somebody, Verdugo would be the guy you want to face. He's only got one hit for the tournament. And here's the offering from Stroman. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0 on Arozarena. So 2 balls and no strikes. Arozarena is, not only is he up there in hits in the tournament, as he's got 8 in the tournament. Among the leaders, he is second in runs batted in with 9. Only Masataka Yoshida of the Japanese has more. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. As we said, we will be back again tomorrow night with the USA and Venezuela. So bring your music, and we will be happy to entertain you again. So here we go. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Arozarena. He waits on the offering here from Stroman. He waggles the bat as the catcher Maldonado sets up outside. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-1. Maldonado wanted that call, but the reality of it was as he set up outside, Stroman did hit his spot, but it was a good solid 6 inches off the outside corner. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Arozarena. We'll keep our eye on the runner Barnes at first to see if they put him in motion to stay out of a double play. So this is going to be pitch number 61 for Stroman, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And Arozarena has walked to load the bases, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Alec Verdugo. So for Verdugo tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and bounced into a fielder's choice, but the bigger thing is he is 1 for 18 in the Classic. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. So this is a turning point in the ballgame right here. So Verdugo, with the bases loaded, full of Mexicans, and Marcus Stroman having to pitch out of a jam here for the first time. They do have Yaxel Rios up in the pen. Does the manager, Yadier Molina. So there's a little bit of sweat and some nail biting going on in the Puerto Rican dugout. The first pitch is a changeup that misses low and inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Shrambini is in here. Welcome. We appreciate you for stopping in. For those of you who don't know Yannick, he does his tennis channel. He's much more entertaining than I am. Although we are going to be making some changes here in the new year, and there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Verdugo. The runner at third is Thomas. The runner at second is Barnes. The runner at first is Arozarena, as they are full of Mexicans. The Puerto Ricans are clinging to a 4-1 lead here with 1 gone in the bottom half of the 5th inning. If you haven't checked out, or if you like tennis, be sure to check out Shrambini's channel. And I knew Max was in here as well. We saw earlier that they popped by the channel, and there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away by Verdugo, and the count is 2-1. But all the excitement is more like the middle of the inning, especially when we get to our commercial breaks. You get a chance to see those. I think Shrambini Tennis would do well. I'll do go. Verdugo batting from the left side. He has himself a bit of an open stance, and he dives into the pitch as it comes from the offering. The crowd is on their feet. The Puerto Ricans are cheering their team on. It is a very festive crowd in Miami tonight for this one. And there's nothing more that you like to see is both the Mexicans and the Puerto Rican fans together, as there's again a conference on the mound as Francisco Lindor has come in with Martin Maldonado to talk to Marcus Stroman. You can get the crowd that is together. Our friend Shrambini says, my voice stopped when he said they think Shrambini would do well to watch our commercials in between the innings, or infomercials, get an idea of getting some done for yourself and watch some of the other stuff. Hang tight. We'll get a chance to see them in just a moment here once this inning is complete. Here's the pitch from Stroman, and it's a changeup that misses down, and that's going to run the count full to Verdugo at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Verdugo. It is Joey Meneses who has his turn on deck. This is going to be a critical point of the ball game here. 4-1 Puerto Rico. Bases are full of the Mexicans. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Alex Verdugo. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it is grounded foul just past the first base coach's box. That is going to keep the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Verdugo giving Stroman a battle here. And Stroman has thrown 4 consecutive split finger fastballs. They're all fastballs, but they're splitters that have been coming up to the plate. And Verdugo has done his best to battle here. Mexican fans are cheering their heroes on. People are on their feet all around the stadium as the right-hander Stroman works from the belt. And now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in hard, but the ball is going to get down for a hit. 1 run is in. The throw is back into the infield and is cut off. Everybody's going to move up a base as the runners have all advanced. Alec Thomas comes around to score on the single by Verdugo. That cuts the lead to 4-2. It is Austin Barnes moving over to third. Randy Arozarena takes to second on the single and the RBI by Alex Verdugo. And we are going to have ourselves a pitching change as the manager, Yadi Molina, is on his way to the mound. And as we do that, we're going to take a little break here. The score is now 4-2 with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. Hang around, everybody. Stick around. Our friend Matt Hollis is going to give you another one of our little breaks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
We appreciate you, Matt Hollis, for listening in, and be sure to check out his channel after the game. He's our San Diego friend of the channel, so be sure to check him out. Marcus Stroman's day is done as Alec Thomas had crossed the plate. The bases are still loaded, and they are going to the bullpen, are the Puerto Ricans, as he has exhausted his day today. And I kind of wonder if I go back to that turning point of the hit by pitch in the 4th inning of Isaac Paredes. You know, Stroman was just cruising right along there, and you don't want to wake up a sleeping bear. And this may be the case. He was able to retire Arias on the final pitch of the inning, but the Mexicans have come out with the bats a-swinging here in the 5th inning and have cut into the lead. It's now 4-2 as we have 1 gone in the bottom half. So there is the pitching change, and we'll get you that update here in just a moment. But this is where we stand here in this one, and it is going to be Yaxel Rios into the ballgame to face Joey Meneses. So Rios is on in relief as the Mexicans are celebrating again in the dugout with their sombrero. So really important spot for Yaxel Rios here as he's going to be facing Meneses in the bottom half of the inning. So Meneses batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Rios. He's appeared in 3 games in the Classic. He's pitched in 3 innings, allowed a couple of hits. He has struck out 5 and walked none. So the right-hander working here with the bases full. And the first pitch is a fastball at 98 miles an hour, swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. The runner at third is Barnes, the runner at second is Arozarena, and the runner at first is Verdugo, as they are full of Mexican base runners. Stroman's final line is not quite done yet, as all the base runners are responsible to him on the base paths. And here comes the offering from Rios. It's a fastball swung on. It has popped up over on the left side. Moving over is the third baseman, and that would be Rivera and the shortstop Lindor, but it's just going to drift into the seats. And now it's going to run the count to no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Shrambini says Iga Swiatek is playing in 15 minutes. As I mentioned, if you like tennis, be sure to check out our friend Yannick, as he'll be able to give you all the updates on that as well. He is the man for tennis, as he calls the matches from Germany. He's also a professional coach, and he works with some of the players that are on the tour. So here we go. Here comes the offering from the right-hander Rios as he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up into shallow right field. Coming in on it, digging hard, is the right fielder Melendez. Moving back on it is the second baseman Javi Baez, and it is going to be an out for the second out of the inning. Tagging at third was the runner Austin Barnes, but no, it was too shallow, not deep enough to be able to drive him in. Actually, Neftali Soto had made the over-the-shoulder catch on that one, but it was not deep enough to be able to drive that run in, so it is going to retire Meneses for the third out of the inning, or second out of the inning. That'll bring up Rowdy Tellez to the plate. Rowdy Tellez tonight 0 for 2. He has popped to short, and he is grounded out to first. The Mexicans are trailing 4-2 here, as they still have the bases loaded in the third inning, and the first pitch is a breaking ball, waved at and missed for strike 1, and the count is 0-1 to Tellez. Tellez for the tournament is 6 for 19. He's hitting .316 with a homer and 5 RBIs. He bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Rios, who kicks and fires, and it is a breaking ball down. It is a check swing by Tellez. He couldn't hold up, and that runs the count now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. It's been a great night for baseball in Miami. We appreciate those of you who have decided to check out the channel tonight. We thank you for stopping by. So no balls and 2 strikes to Tellez. The bases are loaded. And there is 2 gone. And Rios gets his sign from his catcher, Martin Maldonado. And he works set to the belt, and then he raises to his chest. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 1-2 to Tellez. And if Tellez had a little bit better discipline, well, he probably would have been able to wait that one through. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, and maybe even be in a more favorable count, because the first 2 pitches that he saw, certainly the first one was pretty good, but the other one was down. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded into the 4-hole. It is fielded neatly by Javi Baez. He flips it over to first, and that is going to do it. Tellez has grounded out 4-3. Rios has come into a very important part of the ball game and has slammed the door for the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans. They get one in the inning on the run by Alec Thomas. They had one run on 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 3 Mexicans left aboard. We are now through 5 complete in Miami. It is the Puerto Ricans 4, the Mexicans 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys being there. Thanks again, everybody. We're glad that you guys are with us here tonight. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher and one of our old throwbacks. Check out Steve when you guys get a chance. He is an interesting character.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
We appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel, and we'll be back in just a moment after our Japanese cheerleaders tune you up. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 6th inning, and it has been a kind of a game that's been very interesting. The Puerto Ricans got all 4 of their runs in the first inning off of starter Julio Arias. And then Arias really settled down and was able to get through pretty much the next 3 innings without being roughed up for anything. As the first pitch delivered to Javi Baez is taken for a ball 1. And then it's been a shift of the needle. The Mexicans got a run back on a solo shot by Isaac Paredes, and then they scored a run in the last half inning after Alec Thomas was brought home on an RBI single by Alec Verdugo. As that fastball misses inside to Javi Baez, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Baez. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a home run and a couple RBIs and a single. As there is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. So now the momentum of the game is slowly turning in the direction of the Mexicans. The Puerto Ricans are going to try to squeak another run or 2 on the board here because that 4-run first inning, I don't know if that will hold up to be enough to beat the Mexicans. They might have to add a couple more on the board. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Baez. Baez has always had a flair for the dramatics, and tonight in a very important game, he has played very well defensively. He's got the big blow of the 2-run homer, as well as he's got a single to go with it. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped, and it is fielded nicely by the pitcher, Assad. I thought that might have got over his head, but he's able to make the play and underhand flip it over to the first baseman, Joey Meneses, to retire Baez on a ground out 3-1. Very athletic play. He's a big fella, is this Assad. And he is going to retire Baez for the first out of the inning, and now it's going to bring up Eddie Rosario. Well, for Rosario tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's got a homer in 2 trips. He's also grounded into a double play. So 1 for 2 tonight for Rosario. On the tournament, he is 3 for 15. And the first offering from Assad is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Curious to see what is going to be coming out of the back end of the Mexican bullpen to try to finish on this ball game. As the right-hander Assad kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball swung through and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Assad is a big, hard-throwing right-hander. He is fun to watch, that is for sure. They do have the shift on as Isak Paredes, the third baseman, is moved to the right side of second base. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off the glove of the catcher, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we do appreciate everybody who has popped in tonight to say hello. We'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for the USA and Venezuela. So hopefully everybody can join us here for that one as well. So no balls and 2 strikes to Rosario. It'll be Christian Vasquez to follow as he waits his turn on deck. The right-hander rocks into motion. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been a very entertaining game between these two clubs. Lots of flair. Obviously, the Puerto Ricans jumping out to that 4-0 head start in the first inning. And then the Mexicans slowly battling their way back into this one. As Assad rocks into the motion and he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rosario. I was curious to see, I'm looking to see if they have announced the starters for tomorrow night's ball game. If it was me, I know I probably would anticipate that I think Adam Wainwright would be the obvious choice tomorrow going for the Americans, but they are going to be throwing Lance Lynn, and there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Rosario is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 up here and 2 away in the 6th inning, and that'll leave it all up to Christian Vasquez. The Venezuelans are yet to announce their starter. I'll be waiting to see who that will be. Cuba has not announced their starter for the first game of the first semifinal on Sunday evening. Monday, Japan has also not announced their starter. Be curious to see if both of those teams, who they're going to set the table with. So here's the first pitch to Vasquez. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Vasquez tonight is 2 for 4. All right, Shrambini is making his way out the door. We appreciate you being here. Take care, Yannick. We'll come by and see you a little bit later. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and now the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Christian Vasquez. As I mentioned, too, be sure to check out Yannick's channel. It's Shrambini Tennis. If you guys like tennis, he is always great to have. Well, definitely, we're talking about maybe doing a stream. I'll get him into one of our live streams during the season. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Vasquez is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here as they go quietly 1-2-3 to the Puerto Ricans. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 5.5. It is Mexico 4 and Puerto Rico 2. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the bottom of the 6th inning. We're glad you guys could join us here tonight for all of our action. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the sixth inning. It is going to be Isaac Paredes, Luis Arias, and Alan Trejo scheduled to come to bat for Mexico. It was a great piece of relief pitching by Yaxel Rios, who came in and was able to get out of that jam and be able to keep the lead at 4-2 for the Puerto Ricans. So we are going to check to see what they are going to be looking at next. They do look like they have a pitching change, as it's going to be Fernando Cruz coming into the ball game, as he's going to be the third pitcher used tonight by Puerto Rico. So Fernando Cruz coming on in relief. And he is going to be facing Isaac Paredes, Luis Arias, and Alan Trejo to get things going here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. So we appreciate everybody for bouncing in here tonight and checking us out. As we said, tomorrow we'll be back on the airwaves again, as we will be calling the United States and Venezuela. So hopefully you can pop in for that one. We'd love to see you guys here with us. And here comes the first offering. It is a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Paredes. So no balls and one strike. It's been an interesting night tonight. We are appreciative of those people who have joined us both on YouTube, and we also call the games on Twitch, as it is simulcast on both platforms. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is 0-2. So if you're listening to us on either platform, we appreciate it. Our main feed is, of course, on YouTube, but we do send the stuff over to Twitch as well. And so we get people that do pop in from time to time. Leaning in and getting the side from his catcher is Cruz. He works from the set position, even though there's nobody on. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate, and the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes to Paredes. Cruz is originally a 6th-round pick of the Kansas City Royals back in the 2007 draft. He didn't make his debut until last year with the Cincinnati Reds organization, interestingly enough. And here's the pitch. It is a changeup that is swung on and missed. And Paredes goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning, 1 up and 1 away. And that will bring up the second baseman, Luis Arias. Well, for Arias, he is 0 for 2. He has lined out to the right fielder and grounded to second in his 2 trips to the plate. He is 1 for 12 in the tournament. Probably something that he's not going to write home about. It's been an average offensive tournament for the Mexican second baseman slash shortstop. The first pitch is a changeup on the outside corner that is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. 82 miles an hour was that last pitch. You look at the bottom part of the batting order for Mexico, they have got some production from Alec Thomas and Austin Barnes. But certainly Luis Arias has been a dead out in the order, and Alan Trejo is only hitting 200 in the tournament. As there is a pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So hopefully everybody can join us here for that one. And here comes the offering. As the righty kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And not only that, every quarterfinal game, each semifinal game, and the final will be on the docket for us. So this is quarterfinal, actually numbered 3 here, because the Asian pool already had their quarters. There is a fastball that swung on, and it's going to be punched through the opening on the right side of the infield as the second baseman, Javi Baez, was playing in left field. Nice job by Arias to inside out the ball, and he's got himself a 1-out single. That will bring up the shortstop, Alan Trujillo. So a good piece of hitting to be able to fight that pitch off and punch it through the right side of the infield. did Luis Arias. So now Trujillo comes to the plate, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He flew out to deep center field back to end the second inning, right to the warning track and straight away. And then he struck out in the fifth. And here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses at 80 miles an hour inside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The right-hander, Saad, leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher. And now he works to the set position. He checks the runner at first and now delivers. It is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. For a big fella, this pitcher, Cruz, looks like he is really, really a big guy that you would expect him to be pumping 95 to 100 miles an hour. And a lot of the pitches have been changeups and breaking balls coming in at 87 on the breaking ball side, 82 on the other. And there is a fastball swung away, and that is fouled off, and the count now is 1-2. For those of you who follow other sports like basketball, the Purdue Boilermakers were just upset tonight. The number 1 seed Purdue got beat by Fairleigh Dickinson University. That's just coming across the wire. So I don't know how many people saw that one coming. It's the first time that a 16 seed beat a 1 seed since, I believe, 2017 or 18, when Virginia went down to University of Maryland at Baltimore. And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Trujillo is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. That will bring up Alec Thomas. So whoever had Purdue on their ticket tonight is probably not a happy camper. We're here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Alec Thomas is coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 in this one with a run scored. He's got Arias at first, and he bats here with 2 away. And the pitch is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. It is fielded by Baez, who flips it over to the first baseman, Soto, for the final out of the inning. That's going to go down as a ground out, 4-3, and that will do it for out number 3 as the Mexicans are done here in the 6th. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We are now 2/3 of the way through the ball game. It is Mexico 4, Puerto Rico 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate y'all for jumping in here with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're just in a television timeout or a commercial timeout at your end, as we are going to the top of the 7th inning. 4-2 for Puerto Rico over Mexico. We'll be back in just a few after this. Appreciate you guys for bouncing in here tonight and for listening in to our call of Mexico versus Puerto Rico. We'll be back after this.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of our channel. And it is a 4-2 ball game as we are moving here to the top of the 7th inning. The right-hander Assad is going to stay in the ball game, and we do have ourselves looks like we have ourselves a pinch hitter for the Puerto Ricans. We'll have to get you that here in a second, as it looks like it is Machin, I guess how you would say his last name, and I apologize for that. So it'll be Vamail Machin, a 29-year-old left-handed hitting third baseman coming on to hit for Neftali Soto here. And he has taken a called strike, which is going to run the count to 1-1, as the first pitch delivered to him was a ball. He has been with the Philadelphia Phillies organization. He was in spring training. So he is a supplemental piece to the Phillies. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats on the third base side, and the count is 1-2. So the night is done for Neftali Soto, as Machin is in the ball game to hit for him. And really, to be honest with you, Neftali Soto has not lived up at the plate to his billing, and there's a fastball at 93 with some backdoor run that's going to catch Machin for the first out of the inning on a called strike, a two-seam fastball. And boy, oh boy, did that have some late break across the dish. And he is going to be retired for out number 1 here in the 7th inning, and that will bring the catcher Martin Maldonado to the plate. So the Mexicans, if they can continue with their strong pitching, Puerto Rico is going to have to find a way to slam the door. I don't know what the back end of their bullpen is going to look like without Edwin Rios. There is a fastball swung on by Maldonado, and it's grounded foul on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Martin Maldonado. I can't believe that the Purdue Boilermakers went down tonight to Fairleigh Dickinson University. There's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. By Rios. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Maldonado on a ground out, 4-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that will leave it all up to the top of the order and Francisco Lindor. So Frankie Lindor will be coming to the plate, and that's going to bring the Mexican manager out to the mound for a visit. They've got Jojo Romero in the bullpen, and this may be it for Assad, as he has come in and pitched very, very well. We'll see what Benji Hill has to say here. They are calling for the left-hander, and we are going to have ourselves a pitching change. So it's going to be Jojo Romero coming in to replace Javier Assad. A great performance by Assad to come in into a tough situation. But Jojo Romero is going to be coming on in relief, and we are going to have ourselves a pitching change. So with 2 gone here in the 7th inning, we're going to take just a little break, as Francisco Lindor will be coming up for Puerto Rico, and we will be back here in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this musical timeout.
Let's go. Yo. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves here still in the 7th inning. It is going to be the top of the order, Francisco Lindor, who will be coming into bat against, or will be coming up to bat. And coming into the ball game is Jojo Romero, as the pitching change is going to be accomplished here. Romero replaces Javier Assad, who had himself a brilliant performance tonight. He came into the ballgame in a tough situation. He went 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 hit in relief of Julio Arias. He walked 1 and struck out 4. So Jojo Romero here to come in with 2 outs in the 7th inning. We'll see how this is going to shape up. We have Enrique Hernandez, who will be the on-deck hitter, but Lindor is at the top of the order, and that's who they are going to try to retire. Coming up for the Mexicans in their bottom half of the 7th, it'll be 9-1-2 with Austin Barnes, Randy Arozarena, and Alex Verdugo. So they are going to have to try to manufacture themselves another run and keep the Puerto Ricans at bay, as their pitching has been solid ever since that first inning. It's a great crowd in Miami for this one, as it is. I don't know if it's they say all the games have been sold out, but when I take a look at the seats, there are some empty seats in the upper corners and elsewhere, but we'll have to see where it is. But it is a very festive crowd. And of course, the North American team of Mexico and the Puerto Ricans as well, the very Latin flavor, a lot of festive crowd, a lot of music going on in the background. So Jojo Romero ready to go here as he's going to be facing Francisco Lindor. Lindor tonight is 1 for 3. He has a single and has struck out twice. And here's the first pitch from Romero. It's a fastball at 94 that misses up and away for ball 1, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As a reminder, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for the United States and Venezuela. We have F. Montarella, if that's how you say it, on Twitch, who is here with us, says thank you for the narration. Well, we appreciate you for being here to listen in. Our main channel is on YouTube. As that fastball misses outside, the count is 2-0. So if you are over on the YouTube channel, be sure to give us the sub. We appreciate you listening in on Twitch just the same. And here comes the 2-0 offering. It's a fastball at 95. Catches the outside corner, and the count is now 2-1 to Lindor. We do get a lot of folks from all over the world that listen into our streams. We always get a kick out of finding out where people are from. And here comes the pitch from Romero. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-1 to Lindor. So 3 balls and 1 strike. It is a nice night for baseball. As we said before at the top of the stream, they're playing indoors in a dome, so perfect conditions. In some ways, I wouldn't mind seeing the dome being opened a little bit, especially if it was good weather in Miami. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. It is fielded on the run by Paredes. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Lindor on a ground out, 5-3. What a fantastic play by the Mexican third baseman. He's been doing it all night long, and that is going to end the inning 3 up, 3 down for the Puerto Ricans. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is Puerto Rico 4, Mexico 2. What a great night for baseball, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Hang tight. Our friend F. Montarella says YouTube is the same name. Yes, it is. Last Raps Baseball. Hopefully you can join us there as well. We'll be right back in a moment. A little Cherokee Shuffle.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and also appreciate our friend who is on the channel for us on Twitch, which is F. Montarala. If I've said that correctly, it looks like he has given us the sub on YouTube, and we appreciate him for doing that as well. So, and thank you for stopping out and checking in the channel tonight. We are moving into the bottom half of the seventh inning. It's going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Mexicans. That means Austin Barnes, Randy Arozarena, and Alex Verdugo to hit for Mexico in their half of the seventh inning. So it'll be 4-6-0 for the Puerto Ricans and 2-6-0 right now for the Mexicans. And so there is a fastball taken for a call and strike at the knees on the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. We've got Alexis Diaz now in the ballgame, the brother to Edwin Diaz. He is now come on in relief of Fernando Cruz. So Alexis Diaz is there. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. On his horse is Hernandez. He dives. He can't get it. Picking up as the left fielder, and that is the left fielder who fires it in, and that is sliding in safe to second base with a leadoff double is Austin Barnes. A nice play by the left fielder, Eddie Rosario, backing up the play. But Alexis Diaz has given up a leadoff double here to begin the bottom of the seventh inning. So Diaz, of course, the brother of Edwin Diaz, who unfortunately had that injury that has put him out for the season, has just given him a leadoff double to Austin Barnes. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Randy Arozarena. And again, to F. Montarella, we appreciate you for stopping in and listening in with us tonight. And hopefully you can stay with us. Listen, you're there with us. So now the right-hander Diaz ready to go back to work after, well, they had a conference on the mound, but now he's brought Martin Maldonado back out again because they have to discuss a couple of things. They got to get on the same page, that is for sure. Right now, they are not on the same page. So that conference is over, and now we're ready to go back to the action. We got Buster in the house here. Bayhuizen, I think is how you might say it, and we appreciate you for stopping in. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. He says, go Puerto Rico. Right now, Puerto Rico is in the driver's seat. The substitution or the pinch hitter last inning with Femel Matchin, who had come into the game, he has replaced Neftali Soto. There is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Arozarena. So it was basically a straight-up pinch hit and defensive substitution. That is the lone defensive change for Puerto Rico. Arozarena batting here from the right side against the right-hander Alexis Diaz, who holds set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Arozarena tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also got a walk. He is 8 for 16 in the tournament with a homer and 9 RBIs. Arozarena is a very, very dangerous player, as he has walked back to the on-deck circle. He wants to get a little bit more pine tar for his bat. Alex Verdugo flipped it to him, and now we're ready to come back to the live action. So Diaz leans in, and he gets his sign from his catcher. They do have Verdugo played to the left a bit, as Baez is almost straight over second base. And there's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2 to Arozarena. And it's very interesting the way that he throws the ball, Diaz. It was a four-seam fastball, but he doesn't really keep the fingers on top of the ball. His hands are off to the side a little bit, and the ball's got a bit of an interesting spin to it. So here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball at 94 that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is now at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Arozarena batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Alexis Diaz. As Diaz holds set at the belt. Now he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and Arizarena is aboard with a walk. So now the Mexicans have runners at first and second with nobody out. That's going to bring Alex Verdugo to the plate. Well, I don't know if Alex Verdugo is completely woken up yet. He came into tonight's game batting 1 for 16 in the tournament. No homers and 2 RBIs, but tonight he finally got himself a single and an RBI in his last at bat to cut the lead to 4-2. He is 1 for 3 tonight, which makes him 2 for 19 on the tournament. And Verdugo strides to the plate here, ready to face Alexis Diaz. This game is, again, getting into a crucial spot. Runners at first and second, Verdugo at the plate. If you were in Japan, you could pretty much anticipate that this would be a bunting situation if it was the Koreans or the Taiwanese, but not so for the Mexicans, as there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. With Alex Verdugo at the plate, he is almost in scoring position. He does have pop in the stick. One swing of the bat could put the Mexicans into the lead. 4-2 Puerto Rico here in the top of the 7th inning. Or in the bottom of the 7th inning. Check that. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 2-0. As I mentioned before, we are also in sort of spring training mode. As we are calling some of these games, get ready. We're going to be calling the Japanese League starting next week. So hopefully you can join there and be in there with us, as we will be making the calls on the NPB games. There's a fastball that misses outside. And now the count is 3-0 to Alex Verdugo. So he is in the driver's seat for sure. The Puerto Ricans got to find 9 outs from their pitchers somehow here and keep the Mexicans off the board. But there has been all kinds of traffic in the last couple innings. The Mexicans have only been able to come away with that 1 run back in the 5th to cut the lead to 4-2. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And on 4 straight pitches, Alex Verdugo has got a base on balls, and Yadi Molina has seen enough. He is going to the bullpen. He is signaling for a right-hander. As they had a right-hander up and throwing, Alexis Diaz's day is done. As he has got the big hook here, he is coming out of the game, and we are going to the bullpen for a relief pitcher. So hang tight, everybody. As the Puerto Ricans are making a pitching change, we'll be back here in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for being here. And we thank you for listening in. Hang tight. Pitching change in Miami.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change, and Puerto Rico is going to the bullpen, and we are going to see Jorge Lopez coming in to replace Alexis Diaz, as he will be entrusted to face the middle part of the batting order coming up for the Mexicans. So Diaz had to face 9, 1, and 2 in the order, and he couldn't get anybody out. So now Jorge Lopez is coming in here to hopefully, for the Puerto Ricans, that is, trying to close this one out. If you're a Mexican fan, you obviously don't want to see that. So Jorge Lopez is in, and he'll be facing Joey Meneses, who is 0 for 3 tonight, but yet on the tournament, 9 for 22 with a couple of homers and 6 RBIs. For Lopez, this is his third appearance. He's worked 2 innings. He's not allowed a run, and he has struck out 3 and walked none. So Jorge Lopez coming in here for Puerto Rico. This is going to be a very tense situation in this one here. So he is going to be facing Meneses for the first time, obviously, tonight. And we're ready to get back to the live action as he has completed his warm-up tosses. So Jorge Lopez is in. Meneses, a right-handed hitter, so they're going to be right-hander against the right-hander. Meneses batting .409 on the tournament. He is arguably, between him and Randy Arozarena, the 2 hottest hitters in the Mexican lineup, but not just in the Mexican lineup, in the tournament, making the Mexican ball club go. Puerto Rico offense has been silent since the first inning when they put their 4 runs up. So here we go back to the live action. Lopez kicks and delivers. It's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball taken right in the middle for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Meneses. This is going to be another spot where it could be a turning point in the ball game. It would be most likely a spot where they wouldn't mind to turn double play. They're in at the corners. They're halfway in the middle, and there's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul right at home plate. The count is 0-2. The crowd is on their feet. The Puerto Ricans are on their feet, giving their support Joey Meneses. I had a conversation earlier today, and we were talking about the timing of this tournament. And I think the timing of this tournament in preseason or in the exhibition season like this, I don't know if I really like it. I would like to see it maybe played. Maybe they take a 2-week break in the middle of the major league and the Japanese or all the summer league seasons to play a 2-week tournament instead of the All-Star game. Do it around the All-Star game time. Add another week or 10 days at the beginning of the season or the end of the season. That way the players are in mid-season form. And maybe some guys that are playing would come in, play in the tournament, especially if they are out. There's a fastball swung on. It's popped up over on the third base side. Racing in on it is the third baseman, and that is Rivera. But making the catch is going to be Maldonado. So a pop-up to induce the first out of the inning as Meneses has popped it up to the catcher Maldonado for out number 1, and that is going to bring up Rowdy Tellez. So the former Blue Jay turned Milwaukee Brewer is coming to the plate here. He is 0 for 3 tonight. This is going to be a tough spot for him to be in. Curious to see how this one's going to play out. It's a heck of a ball game, that's for sure. They do have a conference on the mound as they're going to talk this one over. I would assume they're going to be in double play depth in the middle and probably be playing back a little bit on the corners to maybe try to turn a double play. Maybe not necessarily come for the fielder's choice at the plate. We'll take a look and see how the Puerto Ricans set up defensively when they resume the action. Rowdy Tellez has popped to short. He's grounded out to first and grounded out to second in his 3 trips to the plate. Entering tonight's game, he was 6 for 17. He's now 6 for 20 with a homer and 5 runs batted in. So that conference is over, and we're ready to get back to the action. Maldonado with a pretty good play over there for the Puerto Ricans to haul that one in. So here we go back to the live action. Lopez toes the rubber. He leans in and he gets his sign from Maldonado. Tellez batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Lopez. He works set from the belt. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball at 97 that just misses outside. And Will Little, who's working the plate, the home plate umpire, that one there was a ball. We go look at the tracks. It looked like it may have clipped the corner. The catcher, Maldonado, really wanted that pitch, but Little leaned in and gave an earful to the Houston Astro catcher. There's a fastball, or that there's a 2-seamer that caught. There's the same spot. Now the Mexicans aren't happy, and so now it's 1-1. Well, to be honest with you, the first pitch looked like it was a strike. The second pitch looked like it was a ball. They listed as a changeup. It looked like it had a lot of backdoor movement to it, almost like a two-seamer. So the count is 1-1. So now we're all square. So here we go. 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. I think, if anything, Will Little would have been best served to go up with the right hand a second time. But 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Tellez. He is in the hole here, as Jorge Lopez is looking to put him away for the second out of the inning. He is a double play candidate. He does not run particularly well. It's an interesting setup on defense. The first baseman is hugging the line at first. They've got 2 set up on the right side of the infield. And Frankie Lindor is about halfway between second and third on the left side, and he is halfway to the plate. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to try to turn this double play. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now we've got a conference yet again on the mound as Maldonado has come in. Frankie Lindor has also come in. They're moving the defense around a little bit. A tailor-made or routine double play ball may not be so routine because they've got the shift in this situation. The runner at third is Barnes. The runner at second is Arozarena. And the runner at first is Verdugo. And Jorge Lopez is the pitcher on the mound. And, of course, Rowdy Tellez is the hitter. And the conference is now over on the hill. We're ready to get back to resume the action. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are full of Mexicans with the left-handed hitting Tellez at the plate. Lopez gets his side from his catcher, and now he delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Oh, boy, that was not a very good pitch to swing at. That came low and inside. Great pitch by Lopez. Poor piece of hitting by Tellez as he is retired for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Isaac Paredes. Well, how is this storyline going to be written? Isaac Paredes hit the home run back in the second inning, and then he was drilled by Marcus Stroman in the fourth. And now here he comes up with the bases loaded with 2 gone in the seventh inning. And I said, don't want to wake a sleeping bear. 5 for 19 on the tournament, 1 for 2 tonight. The home run and the hit by pitch. So Paredes is up in a situation where he can possibly deliver some redemption. And here comes the pitch from Lopez. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. So already into a good hitting position or a good hitter's count here for Paredes. I did not like the timing of the hit by pitch by Stroman on Paredes. I thought it was ill-timed, and you can probably say that Marcus Stroman did do it intentionally. Maybe somebody should send him out a tweet and see what he has to say about that. Marcus, did that one get away on you, or did you just have the bullseye set up on Paredes? There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. So now Paredes is in a great position here. Put a charge into a baseball. This is a very dangerous hitter. He can stick the charge into a ball. So 2 balls and no strikes. Detroit Tiger fans are lamenting his move to the Tampa Bay Rays. Here's the offering. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is now 2-1. Obviously, they got Austin Meadows in return, but Meadows has not provided the results that they were looking for. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Paredes. As he's ready to go again here. Benji Hill is the manager for the Mexicans, and here's the offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's a base hit. It's down. 1 run is in. The left fielder picks it up. They throw third. We're going to be another run across the plate. Randy Arozarena scores to tie it up. There are runners on the corners as Paredes has delivered a 2 RBI single, and the Mexicans have tied this game up at 4 apiece here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. What fantastic baseball at this time of the year. Austin Barnes scores. Randy Arozarena follows suit. The The game is all knotted up at fours. Going first to third is Alex Verdugo. And that'll bring up Luis Arias to the plate, as the Mexicans have now tied the game at 4 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Our friend the living room is fist pumping all the way here. Buster Beheisen says the boys came to play today. Yeah, well, you know what? It's been an entertaining ball game. This, if you're a neutral, this is a fun game to watch. If you're a fan of either of these two countries, you're probably got to keep the Maylocks handy. There's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that misses down to Arias, and the count is 1-0. Puerto Rico's bats have been silent to speak since the first inning. And the Mexicans have just chipped away, and now it's all knotted up at 4s. So Lopez goes into the motion, he delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and it is now 1-1 to Arias. You got to like this kind of baseball at this time of the year. And you got to like the passion of both of these two countries going head-to-head here. So the right-hander, Lopez, leans in. He gets his sign. Paredes establishes his lead at first, and here comes the offering. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is bled down the right field line. It's going to be trouble. It's a base hit. Coming in to score is Verdugo. Paredes is going to make it all the way over to third, and that's going to put runners on the corners again. An RBI single by Luis Arias, and that has broken the tie, as the Mexicans are now up 5-4 here in the 7th inning. That is the third run of the inning, as Paredes goes all the way over to third. That's going to bring up the shortstop Alan Trujillo to the plate. And this inning is still not over, but Mexico is up 5-4. As they pan the dugout, Jaron Duran is sporting the sombrero right now. So 5-4 is the score. Arias, who has not had himself a great tournament at the plate, delivers at the right time. I mean, it's his second hit of the ball game tonight. He is now 3 for 14. So runners are at the corners with Alan Trujillo, the shortstop, coming to the dish. Trujillo is 0 for 3 tonight. He's struck out twice and flown deep to center field once. He takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball in at the knees for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend the living room says Rowdy Tellez stayed out of the double play. Yeah, by striking out, he sure did. And Yadi Molina has got himself a whole pile of seeds in the dugout. And there is a breaking ball swung on. It is lofted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Eddie Rosario. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for Mexico in their half of the 7th inning. But there was damage, and damage was done, and lots of it. There were 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score after 7 complete innings, it is Mexico 5 and Puerto Rico 4. Stick around, everybody. We're coming back for the top of the 8th inning in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for being here. This is last ball. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters scheduled to come to bat for Puerto Rico. Enrique Hernandez, MJ Melendez, and Emmanuel Rivera. That 4-0 lead has squandered away as it is now a 5-4 lead by the Mexicans over Puerto Rico. And we are going to be bringing the rest of this one all the way to you. Top of the 8th inning it will be, and that is quite the ball game so far. It's been very entertaining. The 4 runs all scored in the first inning by Puerto Rico, and then the Mexicans have chipped away, and have finally taken the lead here in going into the top of the 8th inning. So the first pitch from Jojo Romero is a fastball that just misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Enrique Hernandez. Hernandez tonight is 0 for 2. He's also walked and scored a run. He's grounded to third, grounded to second. He is 6 for 18 in the tournament. There is a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1 to Hernandez. We are in the top of the 8th inning. Puerto Rico has a couple of shots at trying to get back into this one, but their backs are now up against the wall. They don't have their best closer with them either. He would have been a difference maker in this series. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. Edwin Diaz, of course, missing the rest of the tournament and all of the season for the New York Mets after that celebration injury the other night. Once this game is done, we'll give you a wrap of the game, and we'll call it a night. There's a breaking ball swung on it as a pop-up behind second base. Moving over underneath it is Luis Arias, and he's going to make the catch, and that will retire Hernandez for the first out of the inning. So as I said before, interesting on the gamesmanship. When Marcus Stroman plunked Paredes back in the 4th inning, home run and an RBI by Paredes, obviously Stroman plunks him. I didn't necessarily see the rationale to that. The winner of this game is going to play the winner of it's going to play Japan. It was what they flashed up across the board, which is going to be Monday night. There's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. United States-Venezuela matchup goes tomorrow night, and that winner will take on Cuba on Sunday evening. We'll have all of those games for you, so we'll see how this all shapes up. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 2-0. A little strange on how the scheduling has been made up, but I think if you're Mexico or Puerto Rico, getting a couple of days rest for your pitchers is probably not a bad thing. So they'll be in a great situation where they might have almost everybody available for them on Monday, and then, of course, the championship game is Tuesday. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. I'm not sure if I necessarily love the format of the World Baseball Classic, the way that the games are scheduled, and I'd rather see it all in one spot. I'd rather all see it being played in Asia, or all being played in the United States, or all being played maybe even in Mexico. As they're usually breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-2. And the reason for that is that it keeps everybody in the same time zone, everybody in the same sort of stuff. Obviously, the Cubans and the Japanese had to fly back here. They get a couple of days to get acclimatized to the North American time clocks. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. And that is going to be a walk for MJ Melendez as he is aboard with a 1-out walk here in the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Emmanuel Rivera to the plate. Well, for Rivera, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has bounced into a fielder's choice, and he's grounded out to third. He's also hit a sac fly and driven in a run. So officially 0 for 2, 5 for 17 in the tournament. That looks like that is going to be it for Jojo Romero. His night is going to be done. The Mexicans are going to the bullpen. We're going to see what they're going to be bringing in, and we'll have to get that for you in just a moment. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We have a pitching change as Mexico has the lead here 5-4 with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after these musical tunes for you. 5-4 Mexico in the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back in just a couple to give you all the action after this.
Hey guys, while the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports, you know another Hollis build, check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game, peace out, and cheers!
Appreciate you, our friend there, Steve Rademacher, supporter of our channel. Thank you for stopping by and helping us out tonight, giving me a little bit of a break in between the innings. Well, I got to tell you, it is going to be the third baseman, Emmanuel Rivera, to come in to bat. He is going to be facing Jake Sanchez, who is coming into the ball game. It's going to be the fourth pitcher used by Mexico tonight. So Jake Sanchez on in relief. He is a Iowa Wesleyan. That's where he went to college, and he has been in the minor leagues and out of the minor leagues up until 2018, and now he's been playing in the Mexican AAA last couple of years. So I'm not sure exactly where he fits in today. He is 33 years old. He is a veteran. He's appeared in 2 games, worked 2 innings. He's not allowed a hit or a run. He's struck out 3 and walked none in the Classic. So Jake Sanchez on in relief, the 33-year-old here to try to slam the door. And he's going to be facing Emmanuel Rivera with 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. He checks the runner, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. As we said, Rivera 0 for 2 tonight, 5 for 17 on the tournament. He's got himself no homers and 5 runs batted in. Sanchez working from the stretch position, and we have Felix Monterella here. Thank you for tuning in again. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Felix subscribed to the channel earlier on, and this is his YouTube look-in, and we appreciate you for being here. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Rivera. So I guess I'd ask Felix where he is listening from tonight, as we do to some of our listeners who check in. We get them from all over the world. We appreciate you for stopping in and being here with us tonight. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander holds at the belt and delivers. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Will Little has been pretty consistent behind the plate. Although now that the fire has been turned up a little bit in the last couple innings, he's been hearing it from both dugouts. That last pitch looked like it was a little bit low. It may have missed the zone, but that is the way it goes. He is the umpire for this one. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball swung on. It is pop foul right behind home plate. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. Rivera's not happy with himself. It looked like that he had grander wishes for that one. As Rivera fouled that one straight back. Some nights when you come in, we get a lot of people that are in the stream and chatting away, and then there's other night it's pretty quiet. And USA, well, we'll get a chance. Are behind in this one, and they've only got 5 outs left to try to do something to flip that script back again. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers, does Sanchez, and it's a fastball that misses down and away. And the count is now 3-2. Javi Baez waits his turn on deck. The Puerto Rican crowd is on their feet. They're making a lot of noise here in Miami. Lots of passion with those Puerto Rican fans. Baseball is life. And of course, the Mexican fans as well, too. There's a lot of the wrestling masks on the fans in the stands. And Sanchez fires over to first base, and diving back in time is Melendez. Melendez can run a little bit. As we said, he is the thought to be the heir apparent to Salvador Perez in Kansas City. They had him leaning the other way a little bit. Sanchez thought he might have been going, and Melendez had to get himself back. We'll keep an eye here to see if he's on the run, and he is. There goes the runner. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is driven into deep left center field. Racing back is Arozarena. He leaps. He makes the catch, and Melendez is going to have to touch them all to return back to the base, and he dives back into first base safely. What a fantastic grab by Arozarena. He had to go back. He makes a leaping catch in front of the wall to haul that one in. And what a phenomenal play there by the Mexican left fielder. Unbelievable catch. That's going to be across all the highlight reels, so make sure you check it out on TSN. That is a game saver for sure. That ball was absolutely smoked by Rivera. He just missed hitting that one out by about 5 feet. Arozarena, it was not an easy play. He was running back. The wall was coming up. He makes the leap. He makes the catch, and then he runs into the wall. And that is why Randy Arozarena is still one of the more exciting players in all of baseball. I don't know if he gets the due he deserves by playing in Tampa Bay, but oh boy, that was a big stage play right there. And there's the first pitch delivered to Javi Baez. It's a fastball that misses well off the plate, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Randy Arozarena, a human highlight reel at the plate and in the field. And sometimes not always for the right reasons in the field, but that was definitely it for sure. And he's tipping his cap to the pitchers as we have a break here as the pitcher, Jake Sanchez, is getting a visit to the mound. So the relief pitchers, the bullpen they're all giving the fist pumps to Arozarena. Of course, Arozarena is a Cuban-born player. And he is of course, he got himself citizenship in Mexico once he had left. And he is an absolutely fantastic play there in left field. They're showing previous highlights from a few years ago how Adam Jones had robbed a young Manny Machado. And here we are back to the live action. It's a fastball that just misses outside. And the count is now 2-0. Baez had checked his swing. I don't think he went far enough, and nor did the first base umpire tonight, Atsushi Fukuya. The Japanese umpire making the calls down there. And here comes the offering to Baez. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and now the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. A highly entertaining ball game on our hands here. So 5-4 for Mexico. There is 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The runner at first is Melendez. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Baez. Sanchez works to the set position. He holds at the belt, now delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lined over the head of the shortstop into left center field. Thomas picks it up. Digging for third is Melendez, and he's going to slide in safely as Baez has got himself his 3rd hit of the ball game. Melendez is able to go first to third on the single by Baez. That puts runners on the corners, and Eddie Rosario is going to be coming to the plate. So the intrigue and the drama in this one, it's like a heavyweight boxing match. Both of the boxers are slugging away at one another, and nobody really wants to go down. Mexico, to their credit, battled back, and now the Puerto Ricans are doing the same. They've got runners on the corners with 2 dead. And now it'll be Eddie Rosario coming to the plate. Rosario is 1 for 3 tonight. He has homered in 3 trips. So now we've got Rosario ready to face the offering from the right-hander Sanchez, and he swings through a changeup for strike 1, and the count is now 0-1. What a great ball game this is. If you're just joining us or if you've come in late, it's been a fantastic game tonight for a neutral. If you're a fan of Puerto Rico or a fan of Mexico, you're probably biting your nails. So here comes the 0-1 offering as Sanchez delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded foul just past the bag at first base. The count is now 0-2. This is some fun baseball to watch, that is for sure. So no balls and 2 strikes. Rosario waggles the bat. They are shifted around to the right side of the infield. Isak Paredes, the third baseman, is to the right of second base. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up. It is behind home plate. It's playable. Moving over underneath it is the catcher, Austin Barnes. He catches it and he falls backwards, but he holds on to the ball. And that is going to do it here for Mexico or Puerto Rico in their half of the inning, as the defense of Mexico has shown up. And they have done very well here in their half of the inning. So there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 7.5 innings. It is 5-4 for the Mexicans. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll bring you all the rest of this action. We got Jose Casillas. We thank you for being here. We thank everybody for listening in. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes after this musical break. Been some fantastic action tonight, everybody. It's 5-4. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mexicans are going to look for some insurance, and the Puerto Ricans are going to try to keep them at bay. We've got a couple more innings of baseball left, unless this game ends up going to extra innings, and that would be fantastic and just all right by us. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a relief pitcher, and that is Giovanni Moran. He is coming in for Puerto Rico. He is going to be pitcher number 6 used tonight. And he is going to be taking over here as he is going to be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Mexican batting order. The first pitch delivered to Alek Thomas is a fastball swung on and fouled off the mask of Martin Maldonado for strike 1. So Giovanni Moran on in relief. A left-hander here facing the lefty Alek Thomas. They just keep coming out of the bullpen, and they keep throwing harder and harder to the relief pitchers for both of these clubs. So Thomas at the bat here tonight. He is 1 for 3. He's also scored a run. And here's the offering from Moran. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Thomas bats from the left side. He's off the plate here as he faces Moran, the lefty. A kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Lots of entertainment in this one, and we're glad those of you who could be here are sticking around with us. We've had a lot of people come in and out of the stream tonight. And here's the 2-1 offering. It's a fastball at 92 that swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a lot of fun for us having people bounce in and out of the stream. We've Jumped over 1,000 views in here tonight. Not as many people have been sticking around as long. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Alec Thomas for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Austin Barnes. Just surprised at the amount of people that have bounced into the stream. And of course, they bounced out, but that's okay. Can't ask for much better than that. It's been an entertaining affair, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow night with the United States and Venezuela. And here comes the first offering to Barnes. It's a breaking ball swung through and missed for strike 1, and the count is 0-1. Barnes got things going in the 7th inning with a leadoff double. He's also had a single tonight and struck out looking. He is 2 for 3 in this one. Now he's 5 for 13 in the tournament. And Moran goes to deliver the pitch, and he got his cleats caught, and he literally fell off the mound. So we got no pitch there. He didn't release the ball, and he's got to go back and clean out his cleats. And we're going to try this all over again. So Moran, the lefty, ready to go again. As he works to the set position, he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, if you're new here to the channel, we do the Japanese League late nights. We're going to be doing a couple more exhibition games next weekend before the start of the season, and then it'll be on the daily for quite a bit. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball delivered. It is lofted into shallow left center field. Coming in hard is the center fielder for Puerto Rico, and Hernandez makes the catch on the run. That is going to retire Austin Barnes for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Randy Arozarena. Arozarena, of course, made that fabulous catch in the last half inning to preserve the Mexican lead, flashing the Gold Glove-like defense. So Arozarena comes to the plate. He is 2 for 3 and a walk tonight. He scored a run back in the 7th inning. 8 for 16. Check that, 9 for 17 in the tournament. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. It is fielded by Lindor. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Arozarena. It's a ground out 6-3 for the final out of the inning. Well, the Mexicans go quietly in their half of the 8th. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 9th inning with the Mexicans ahead 5-4. Coming up for Puerto Rico, or scheduled to come to bat for Puerto Rico, will be Eddie Rosario, Christian Vasquez, and Vimel Machin. So we'll have to see how this all shapes up. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple after this musical break. But we're looking forward to the top of the 9th inning. Hang tight. We'll be right back in just a couple moments, everybody. 5-4 for Mexico as we go to the top of the 9th inning. There will be a pitching change, and we're looking to close this one out for you as well. We appreciate you guys for stopping in and being here with us. Hang tight. We'll be back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving here to the top half of the ninth inning. It is Jaron Duran has come in as a defensive replacement. It is going to be Giovanni Gallegos on the mound. He's going to be facing Christian Vasquez here. It'll be Vasquez and then Machine and then Martin Maldonado. Vasquez tonight is 1 for 3. He had a double in the fourth inning. He's 4 for 14 in the tournament. The first pitch from Giovanni Gallegos is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that just misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Interesting that Roberto Osuna, who plays in the Japanese league, he pitched for the Chibolote Marines last year, and then, of course, now he's with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, not on the Mexican club. If I'm looking for a closer, I got to tell you, Roberto Osuna would be the guy. So we'll have to see how Gallegos does as he blows a 95-mile-an-hour fastball past Vasquez, and the count's now 1-1. In the food chain of closers, Osuna is the man as far as I'm concerned for Mexico, but he's not with the club. And of course, he had some off-field issues that ran him out of Major League Baseball. So I wonder if he is blackballed from this tournament because of that. Here's the 1-1 offering. That's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Arozarena picks it up. As he cuts it off before going to the wall, he fires it back into the infield, but the Puerto Ricans get a leadoff single from Christian Vasquez to keep things alive here in the top of the ninth inning, as he is aboard with a leadoff single. So Vasquez gets himself a single, and so he has got it started. We'll keep an eye here if they bring in a pinch runner for him, as he is not the most fleet of foot, and he is the designated hitter. And that will bring up Vamil Matchin to the plate. And if we were watching Japanese baseball or Korean baseball, you can pretty much be guaranteed it would be a bunting situation. I'm kind of curious to see how the Puerto Ricans are going to play this. It's Joneshwi Fargas, the former Chicago Cub, who is in the game to pinch run. This is Machin at the plate, and he does square to bunt, and it's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal to Dan Bellino down at third base. And the third base umpire said he didn't go, and the count is 1-0. So let's see how the fundamentals of the Puerto Ricans will play out here, as they're going to try to get the runner into scoring position. Paredes is in on the grass. Trejo is almost behind the bag at second base, the shortstop. They have the second baseman, Arias, into the hole. It is a bunt. It is in the air. It is caught by the pitcher, Gallegos, and that is going to retire the batter. So not a good bunt by the batter, Machena is how I guess you say his name. As he bunted it back to the pitcher, it was a pop-out. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, you know, in that situation there, you got to wonder sometimes, is it better off to have let the ball drop and to get Fargas at second and then maybe take your chances on the back end? But everything is happening so quick. You want to get out, so you don't want to take your chances. So that is the first out of the inning, and that is slated to bring up the catcher, Martin Maldonado. So some pretty interesting baseball here. We appreciate those who've listened in tonight, as Gallegos fires over to first base, and hopefully you guys can make it back in here tomorrow night for the Venezuelan-USA matchup. Some fantastic baseball here in the Classic. We expect more entertainment tomorrow night as Team USA will take on Team Venezuela. So first pitch here coming to Maldonado. And here's the offering from Gallegos. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up in the infield. It's playable. Camping out underneath this is the first baseman, Meneses, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Maldonado for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the top of the order in Francisco Lindor. So Giovanni Gallegos has come in to close this game out after allowing the leadoff single, is now retired back back-to-back Puerto Rican hitters, and it all comes down to Francisco Lindor to keep this one alive for Puerto Rico. Gallegos looking to finish it off for the Mexicans. Lindor is 1 for 4 in this one. He's got a single in 4 trips. He has struck out a couple of times and grounded to third. They're showing a graphic in terms of the largest comeback wins, and this is going to be one of them right here, as they were down a 4 spot in the first inning and have been able to keep the Puerto Ricans at bay. There's a fastball swung on it, just popped up. It's over on the third base side. Coming over by the dugout is Barnes, but he's going to watch that go into the seats. And the count is 0-1 to Frankie Lindor. After this one is finished, we will give you a wrap-up of it. And then we will call it a night, and we will come back again tomorrow for all the action between USA and Venezuela. So no balls and 1 strike to Lindor. And Gallegos kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Gallegos gets himself a new baseball. He rubs it up. And he's ready to go back to work again. Randy Arozarena, the defensive hero of the last inning, and he's been an offensive hero for the Mexicans during this tournament. Here's the pitch from Gallegos. He delivers a fastball that misses well off the outside corner, and the count is now at 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Kiki Hernandez waits his turn on deck. Should Francisco Lindor be able to keep this one going? So Gallegos holds set. Here comes the 2-1 offering to Lindor. He kicks and delivers. It is a changeup that is swung on and missed, and now that's going to run the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Frankie Lindor. Lots of high-end entertainment here, and as we said, the Puerto Ricans are down to their final strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lindor. We're here in the top of the 9th inning. 5-4 for Mexico. Gallegos holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined up the middle into center field for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Fargas. Lindor keeps the conga line going. Now there's runners at first and second with 2 gone, and it's going to be Enrique Hernandez coming to the plate. So the Puerto Ricans do not want to go yet. This ball game has got a lot of intrigue. Kiki Hernandez stepping to the plate. MJ Melendez is on deck. Frankie Lindor getting the support of the crowd and of his teammates to keep this one alive. And that brings a conference out to the mound. Benji Heel is out onto the mound. He's talking to the right-hander here, Gallegos. So Frankie Lindor with his second hit of the game. That goes with the single that he had back in the 5th inning. Keeps this one moving. So here we go. 5-4 Mexico, top of the 9th inning. Hernandez tonight, 0 for 3 in a walk. He scored a run. On the tournament, he is 6 for 19. So Mexico has been able to be clutch in scoring position tonight, but not so much for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has not had a hit with runners in scoring position to drive in runs. And here's the opportunity right now. There's a changeup that misses down and in for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's been a fabulous event here. Of course, in Miami, they are pleased with what is going on. A lot of games they say have been sold out. As we said before, there looks to me like there's empty seats around and about. So here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate. And it was a good stop there by the catcher, Austin Barnes. And that's going to run the count to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Five-4, Mexico has the lead. 2 balls and no strikes to Kiki Hernandez. Something has to give here. Going to have to throw him a strike. And here comes the offering from Gallegos. He holds at the belt, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third. And it is a foul ball as Paredes had come into foul territory to make the play on it. It just had rolled foul. He probably would have gunned out Hernandez at first. Had that been ruled a fair ball, so the Puerto Ricans have yet another life. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Puerto Rico. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Mexicans. As Mexico has a 5-4 lead here in the 9th inning. Hernandez digs in. Gallegos leans in. He gets his sign from his catcher, Barnes. And now he works to the set position. He kicks and delivers, and that is a called strike, and now that runs the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Once again, Puerto Rico is down to their final strike. Second time tonight. If this was tennis, it would be like we're in a match set situation. As we had one of our supporters come in who is a tennis coach. He has left the stream, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded foul down just past the third base dugout, and that's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here we go. We got 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gallegos ready to go back to work again. Our friend Living Room says match point here. Yeah, and that's exactly what it's going to come down to. Gallegos holds Sen at the chest. He gets his sign, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called third strike. And Kiki Hernandez stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it as Team Mexico is going to move on. And they are going to be playing in the semifinals on Monday night against Japan. 5-4 is your final score for Mexico. 5-9-0 for the Mexicans. 4-9-0 for Puerto Rico. Hang tight, everybody. I'll be back in about 30 seconds to wrap this one up. We appreciate everybody for being here tonight and listening in. I'll give you the rundown right after these musical tunes. First of all, I want to give thanks to everybody who listened in tonight, as well as those who have joined us as subscribers to the channel. We thank you and appreciate it. We will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for Team USA and Venezuela. Your final score was 5-4 for Mexico, so we'll give you the scoring recap. First of all, we're getting with Puerto Rico, who did all their damage in the first inning. With one away, Enrique Hernandez walked, and then then it was Nelson Velasquez singled. Then Emmanuel Rivera stepped up and had a sac fly to drive home Hernandez with the first run of the ball game. They went up 1-0. Up stepped Javi Baez, and he deposited a 2-run shot into the seats, and that made the score 3-0. Eddie Rosario came up after Baez, and he too went yard, and that made the score 4-0, and we were not even done the first inning yet. So 4-0, and then they retired the side. And then after that, it was all Mexico. In the bottom half of the second inning, Isaac Paredes hit a solo shot to cut the lead to 4-1. Then the Mexicans got another one back on the board in the 5th inning after Alan Trejo struck out. It was a single by Alec Thomas, and then a single by Austin Barnes. After a walk to Randy Arozarena, a single by Alec Verdugo brought home the second run of the ball game for the Mexicans. And then after that, it was the seventh inning where all the other damage was done. It was a double by Austin Barnes, and then a single by Randy Arozarena, and then it was a walk to Alex Verdugo to load the bases. And then after a couple outs, once they made the pitching change to Jorge Lopez, a single by Isaac Paredes drove home 2 runs, and then another single by Luis Arias brought home the third run, which was Alex Verdugo, and that made the score 5-4. Well, everybody, that was where the game ended as a 5-4 final score. The Mexicans are moving on to face the Japanese on Monday night. It'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 o'clock Eastern. Hopefully you can make it in and join us. We appreciate you all for being here once again. Your final score from Miami, Florida, it is Mexico 5, Puerto Rico 4. Hopefully you guys can join us again a little bit later for our stuff and also for our Major League play-by-play a little later. We'll catch you guys again on the flip side. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. Venezuela, USA, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Join us for all the action.